what's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Thank you guys. Hold on, it's been a while. I forgot how to do this. Hey, what's up? How's everybody doing? Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Welcome to the RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 8 live stream discussion. Hope you guys are all doing well. We are back for the second half of the show. I'm super stoked, super excited. And it's great to be back. Can you guys see me well? Can you guys hear me well? Let me know. Yeah, what a great episode to come back to. Episode 100 nonetheless. Yeah, very excited to I'm also nervous, like, admittedly. Like, I'm always anxious whenever I watch an episode of RWBY, so it's it comes with the territory. It comes with the experience of watching the show for the last 8 volumes. Yeah, chapter 8 was the 100th episode of the series. Yep. Oh wait, is slow mode on? It should only be like a 1 second slow mode. Yeah, something's happening right now with how long is it? It should only be like 1 second, right? Yeah. So I don't know why, but Google or YouTube won't let me turn it off. Like I turn it off and then I hit save settings and it doesn't save the settings. So for right now it's at 1 second because it has, like, slow mode has to be enabled. It's not disabling it. So I just put it on 1 second right now, but when we start, I'm gonna bump it back up to like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. So yeah, that's not an error. I just didn't want it to be like higher than what I set it to. Yeah. So yeah, 1 second for right now. So because like I don't think people are gonna be like constantly spamming spam, like spam enter. So yeah, I don't know why. Actually, my YouTube channel has been like broken for like the last 6 months. It recently just started fixing itself. I don't know if anybody has had issues on the user end of things, but like at least for me, right, my YouTube channel has been broken since like, thank God I was still able to upload, right? But my YouTube channel has been broken since like May or June. And it was an issue where I couldn't comment on videos. I couldn't leave likes on videos. I couldn't type in my community tab. The only way I could have any type of like engagement in my comments or videos that I watch was on my phone, and I do not watch YouTube on my phone. Like, I always watch it on desktop or on my TV in the living room. So how I used to circumvent this is like I would have to type something out in like Discord, and then I'd copy and paste it, go into my phone, copy paste it off my phone, and then type it into like a comment or something like that. The only way I could actually leave comments is if I did it on the back end of YouTube Studio. So like if you're a creator, YouTube Studio is basically your hub for like your videos, comments, all that kind of stuff, analytics, and I could comment I can comment on other people's comments in there, but if I were to go onto my video, scroll down into the comments and read someone's comment, I couldn't leave a comment there. Like it was bugged. I don't understand how or why. But it recently, like, everything just fixed this week. Like, I'm actually using YouTube the way it was intended, and it's almost confusing. It's almost weird. It's a weird experience because I've dealt with the broken UI for like almost a year now. But yeah, other than that, things have been kind of getting back into step. Obviously, I recorded RWBY last week. The reaction will be going up tomorrow. We're sitting down right now to talk about the latest chapter, Chapter 8, that came out for first members. It'll be out for everybody else tomorrow. I got back to uploading RWBY, which I'm going to be doing the review next, and then starting Season 13. Genshin Impact is another thing that I've been streaming consistently. The Lantern Rite event just started a couple days ago, but I'm going to be streaming that. I think I'm going to stream that tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm just kind of like super busy, I'm just excited to just get back to being productive. You know, these last 6 to 8 weeks has been a blessing for sure, because I've been taking my time with content and not really focusing on it, and just giving myself the time and like basically just the time to relax and unwind and do other things that I don't feel obligated to do, right? And so yeah, it's just been very liberating for the most part. You haven't watched the next chapter, then this whole live stream is a spoiler. Oh yeah, obviously. I feel like some people who didn't watch it are probably, if they didn't watch it, they're probably here just to like hear about it before they watch it tomorrow if they don't care about spoilers. Hi Dashie, hey Arnold, just a quick hello. Hope I can come back a bit later. Have fun. Thank you. Glad to see you're alive and well. It's been like weeks. Feels way longer. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate it. Jordan Peltonen. I'm sorry for butchering your name. Thank you for the $5 super chat. So stoked to be back. Devil Blight 69. Did you pick up on that Faunus in the Hound was a fox? Fox in the Hound. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people mentioned that the ears were fox ears. So yeah, I did pick up on that. Obviously not during the reaction, because initially I thought those were horns. And I was like, this guy kind of looks like Adam. Like, a lot of people got misdirected for Adam initially, right? Because, like, the eye, one of the eyes was, like messed up, and the ears kind of looked like horns, and the hair was kind of spiky. So, there were a bunch of people that were misdirected initially that it was, and it was dark, too. So, it's like the lighting was just, like, super toned down because it was nighttime in the house. You know, there were a lot of shades and shadows, so like a lot of people were misdirected that was Adam for at least a split second. Obviously, we're not looking at it like things are happening in the moment. We're seeing something we've never seen for the first time, and the first thing I thought of was like, is that Adam? That kind of looks like him, you know? So yeah, there's a lot to talk about with that. A lot of implications, a lot of speculation, a lot of things that we can put together. I think based on that reveal at the end of the episode. So yeah, Gordon Lay, thank you for the $10 super chat. Not RWBY related, but more on a serious question. Are you planning on taking the vaccine when it's available to you? If you don't want to answer that, I understand. I don't see why not. I mean, the whole point of the vaccine is to prevent people getting sick in the first place. I don't really see a big political stance on it, if you want to call it that. I'm not like a conspiracy theory. Like, I've always gotten like shots. I'll be honest with you, I haven't been to the doctors in forever. Like literally forever. I typically don't get very sick. Like, I'm not very sick prone. I think I get sick like once every 2 years, and it's like the worst 3 to 5 days of my life. But then afterwards it bounces back. I think the last time I ever was sick that I can think of, because there are times that I'm just feeling like crap, but when there are times that I'm like sick as a dog, like in bed, like trying to like I have to like roll out, like I have to actually make effort to like go about my day. The last time I vividly remember being sick, like awful sick, where I was like, I had to like sleep on the floor in my room because my bed was uncomfortable. Super fucking weird. Was 2017. 2017, when I came back from RTX. So I got super sick when I went to RTX. I came back, I had like the con flu, and I was sick for like 5 days, and it was the worst thing of my life. It was the worst feeling. I just hate being sick because I know I'm in for it. Can I just say that I love your hair, Arnold? Yeah, so I'm growing it out. It's I kind of like it too. I've never had my hair this long, and so I'm just gonna grow it out and see what happens. I was contemplating cutting it, but as the quarantine went on, I was like, kind of wanna keep it. Looking a little pale there. That's probably because I got a new light bulb, because my previous light bulb like blew out during a recording, and so I had to replace it. And I also have like some stuff up on my actually, you know what? I can probably ease that out for you. Okay, so we do one of these. We do one of those. Hold on. Do one of those. So I also have like lights on my screen that are like reflecting off my face and my glasses and all that. So yeah, I probably look a lot less pale, if you will. I got a haircut 2 days ago. Yeah, my barber has been back open, but because I'm growing my hair out, I kind of feel bad that I'm not going and getting a haircut weekly, because I've been going to the barber like every 2 weeks for the past like 10 years to the same barber, and now like to not go there, it's a little weird. It's Peltonen. You butchered it every RWBY discussion. I'm bad at, I'm like really bad at like proper names, so I apologize. It's fine, I'm over it, but seriously, I'm happy to be back for the RWBY season. Looking forward to watching the reactions every week. Hey, Simply Beta, how's it going? Thank you for joining. You haven't seen Chapter 8 yet. Well, it's a doozy. It's a pretty, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. A lot of stuff was happening. It just wasn't stopping. Like, one thing happened, and then while that was happening, another thing's happening in the background, and then the character turns their back, and another character is getting attacked, and yeah, it's all over the place. But yeah, I'm very anxious to see. I think tomorrow's episode might switch back to the whale, right? So we'll get Jean, Yang, and Ren's perspective with Oscar, because there are some scenes that still need to play out from the trailer. So we might see Salem tomorrow. And everything else like that. Also, I just want to let you guys know that this discussion is happening on Friday because I had some time management issues. The discussions are typically supposed to be happening on Thursday, and that's the days that I'm going to aim for moving forward. Usually Friday is a day that, like, if I stream on Thursday, Friday's kind of my day to just relax. I'll edit some stuff, but I won't really, like, stream or record anything on Fridays. So if I ever need Friday as a backup day because it can't happen Thursday, that's when we'll do it on Friday. But typically, I'm going to try to make sure the live streams happen on Thursday so I can stay consistent with that. Yeah, Penny was great in the episode too. Nora coming through with the MVP. Like, Nora was just like low-key MVP Nora. She just like woke up, spit some, like she just said, you know, she just gave a little words of wisdom of stuff that she learned a few chapters back before she knocked herself out. And then she was just like, all right, I'm going back to sleep. But yeah. Yeah, so we're going to be starting the discussion in another 5 minutes or so. I'm just, you know, chatting with you guys before we jump right into it. Okay, let me clear this. Let me... Okay. Let's see. Valen Chewy, or I think that's how you say that. It's your boy Chewy. Gotta make time for Arnold. Gotta make sure my man Arnold is hydrated. Let me see that water. Damn, dude. You know me too well. If you're asking that question, don't worry. I'm prepared. Also, prepare for me to go to the bathroom multiple times during the stream. But yeah, I gotta stay hydrated. It's important. Also, I talk for like 5 hours straight, and so I need to, you know, I need to stay. I need to have water for that. Otherwise, I'm not gonna make it. You missed Chair-kun? Well, he's right here. See, the thing is, when Chair-kun's gone, Chair-kun's always there. He's always listening. He's like Santa Claus, all right? He's always there when you least expect it. You know, he's gone but never forgotten. But yeah, you need to stream while you stream. Oh my god, someone has the username Chair-kun in chat. Are you fucking serious? Oh, that's hilarious. Chair-kun has come a long way. Yeah, there's just a lot to talk about for this chapter, and we still have chapters 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 5, actually, hold on. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 6 chapters left. We're getting 14 chapters this volume, if you guys weren't aware. Yeah, tomorrow's episode is going to be great. I'm excited. And my reaction will be up on the channel as per usual, around, usually at noontime every Saturday. But yeah. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you guys all so much for tuning in to the RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 8 live stream discussion. As per usual, we're going to kick things off with a little gatekeeping. I gotta put the chat. I gotta put slow mode on. I know you guys miss it. I know you guys are really hyped and excited for it. And yeah, so we're gonna jump into that first. I'm gonna give you guys what y'all came here for. No, don't do this. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna be lenient this week. We're not gonna go 45. We're gonna go 30. Okay. All right. There you go. There you go. Every 30 seconds, choose your 30 seconds wisely. I got my second dose and I still I did not get symptoms and got sick. Interesting. Yeah, I've been stuck in my house for the last year, so if anything, I feel like I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not someone that's out and about every day. If anything, I'm in my house more than I'm out of my house. Where's the thumbnail? I have not seen it yet. We have not gotten the thumbnail for tomorrow's chapter. It might happen. It might happen throughout the stream. Like, we might get it before the stream's over. In which case, if we do, if someone, like, you know, tweets it out or whatever, or if someone in chat lets me know during the discussion, you know, we'll save that to the very end, and I'll show people who wanna see what they get to look forward to for tomorrow. Or we might not even get it, you know what I mean? And we all might just be surprised of what happens tomorrow. But yeah, all right, so we have a lot of stuff to get through, so I just want to jump right off the gate with this. So I think at this point, the ratio between clips and images has drastically shifted in favor of clips at this point. We have like 10 images and like 70 clips. Like, and I kind of prefer showing visual, like showing actual like motion and, you know, one clip, one scene, like on loop multiple times. I think I kind of just prefer the evolution of how I started doing these, which was just still images. And then I started doing clips for action sequences, because you can't really emphasize or showcase or talk about an action scene efficiently if it's just a still image, you know what I mean? Like, there's no choreography, there's no camera motion, there's no cinematography involved. So yeah, I think I like the whole clips thing, and it's great to kind of encompass an entire sequence in 4 clips instead of like 20 pictures, you know? So yeah, we're gonna jump into this. So I'm gonna be going on screen and off screen a bunch. I have a lot of full screen sequences that I want to talk about in order. And obviously, I have you guys up on chat here, so obviously we can get into some conversations and topics, because there's a lot of stuff. We got a couple of fights going on. We got new Grimm. We have a big revelation at the end of the episode. We have a lot of family moments with the Schnee family, and like a lot of those bonding moments that I think are going to have a bunch of ripple effects as the show progresses, which I'm really happy about, just because, you know, everyone was kind of isolated. The path of isolation, as people say, but a lot of people were isolated. Like, the Schnee family was drastically isolated from everyone, and then you take Jacques out of the equation, and you try to like bring everybody together as a sense of like, obviously they're all family, they want to protect each other, they want to keep each other safe. And I think Whitley, Weiss, and Willow are kind of like, I think they're a lot closer now because of this entire ordeal that they're going through. But yeah, anyways, Arnold, what would your overall rating be of this episode? I don't really know. I don't really do ratings. Like, I'm not someone who cares about like scores for video games or like rates episodes. I just kind of go about like looking in retrospect, like what I enjoyed about it. And like I said, the reveal of the Grimm at the end was super intriguing, because it kind of like changes how we see the creatures of Grimm, what Salem is capable with the Grimm, Silver-Eyed Warriors in general, and all that stuff. And we also got like a really good like focus on the Schnee family plotline, which clearly has to see an end at some point at the end of this volume before we go to Mistral. So I'm glad that they're at least covering that. But it was a solid. I think it was solid. It was entertaining for me, at least, you know, and we still have a lot of things to look forward to. But yeah, anyways, we start the episode right out the gate. Also, how does everything look and sound? I think I mentioned that. I asked that earlier. But I just want to make sure audio sounds good and everything looks good visually before we start. Everything's good? Okay. You can never be too sure. Okay. All right, thanks. I appreciate it. Anyways, It's kind of baffling to me that halfway through the volume, these guys are finally getting out of jail. And I just wonder how quickly things are going to escalate for all of these guys, right? So you have Crow, who just like woke up from what seems like a bad dream, which is a little unfortunate given the given the circumstances. You got Jacques, who's just, Jacques is Jacques. He's just sitting in there, biding his time, just waiting impatiently. Robin's trying to, entertain herself and keep things lively to some degree. And Watts is just, biding his time. Watts already did his thing, right? He went in there, he compromised Penny, and at the end of the day, it's coming back. It's going to be paying out. It's going to be paying out like beautifully for him by the end of it, especially if like a fully hacked Penny can cause a bunch of havoc, get the relic, and Watts could essentially become the MVP of Salem's faction by the end of this volume, because he was like the star villain in my opinion during the first half of volume 7, and then Tyrion just like took over, but now Tyrion's out of the picture, so it's kind of in the hands of either Cinder or Watts to kind of take the ball and keep running with it. And obviously they want to keep Tyrion around for as long as possible. He's entertaining. He's constantly getting into mischief. He's a constant source of entertainment whenever he's on screen, especially for the villains. He's charismatic. He's a great fighter. He's psychotic and, just kind of does whatever the hell he wants. So the fact that he's no longer around is a bit of a bummer, but at the same time, he's not overstaying his welcome to the point where I feel like, oh God, it's Tyrion again, So I just really wonder like how things are going to fare, how things are going to play out right now. Because again, also I kind of like the little gif that I got for Watts here. That seems like a very appropriate like Twitter gif if you ended up using something like that for like a reaction if someone says something or whatever. I don't know why. It's just that one was just so. I as I was making it, I was like, actually, you know what? This is like Twitter worthy. But yeah, everybody is just kind of big chilling in prison, just waiting, and the break-in happens. Now, I'm gonna be the first one to say this, because it's kind of like you would think people would know what the actual like result was, but there's always that small the subset of people that make me question like, why would you think that? Who thought that bird was Raven? By the way, if you thought it was Raven, leave the stream right now. I'm just kidding, by the way. Oh my God, all of you thought it was... How did no one think it was Crow? What? Okay, here's a big question. Who thought it was Crow? All right, that's what I need to know, because the alarming amount of people who responded, I thought it was Raven, is a little alarming. Oh, no. I thought it was a majority, but it seems like a minority, sorry, but it... Seems like it's the majority. Red eyes, Arnold? I mean, Crow's got red eyes. They're twins. Oh, boy. All right, well, I guess we're split on this at that point. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Yeah, so... I feel like people really, really desperately want Raven to be relevant this volume as a means of just wanting her back, versus finding the logic in why Raven would be the one that's right there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people are just thirsty to get Raven back, but it's like Raven's arc. I think Raven's arc will become a factor when we go back to Vale, or between now and when we get to Mistral, because not Mistral, Vacuo, because at least Vacuo and Vale are on the same continent. You know what I mean? So I can, but then again, she's also in Mistral, but she can tether herself back to Tai Yang. You know? Oh my goodness. Chris V, thank you for the $10 super chat. Hey Arnold, back once again to enjoy another discussion. Here's to 100 episodes of RWBY. If they give Summer the Hound treatment, I'm gonna lose it. Also, how's everything with the fan mail video? Yeah, the fan mail video is coming along. I got a overhead camera thing, so I was trying to find the best way to do an unboxing that complemented all the things that I got. But hopefully it'll be up within the next week or so. But yeah, thank you for the super chat, Chris. Glad to have you back in the discussion. William Pendragon, welcome, my friend. I appreciate you for your services. This is Private William Pendragon on the front lines. We have major losses, but we will continue the fight. Though the sacrifices are heavy, we fight knowing that a single spark of courage will ignite the flames of hope. Our lives for all of Remnant to our lives for all of Remnant to have hope, a fair trade. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much for the generous donation, and I'm glad to have you back in the stream, bud. Tobias, thank you for the super chat. People have been trying to save Mantle for days, and Whitley just went, oh, you want to save Mantle? Okay, I got you. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. Imagine all it had to take was just, you know, not being a jerk to Weiss's little brother, and also getting the father figure out of the picture. It's like Mantle, hashtag Mantle saved. And, you know, Atlas is a completely different story. They're going to have to, I don't know, they're going to have to figure out something with that place, because that's a whole different can of worms. But yeah, again, I felt like people just want Raven back to the point where they're just like, you know what? I'll take Raven showing up out of nowhere for no inherent reason. And as a bird versus just teleporting herself into the prison cell to get her brother out, even though she was like playing around that she wanted to like have him dead or whatever for her plans in Mistral. But yeah, Raven Watch 2021 is still in effect, unfortunately. I'm sorry to hear. I'm sorry, but it's the truth, guys. All right. At the very least, this is going to be very... I wonder what Robin's reaction is going to be to Crow turning into a bird, because now it's going to kind of reveal to her that magic is a thing, and it's going to get her involved in this whole thing just as much as anybody else. But yeah, I thought that was just really cool. I was like, holy shit, he turned into a bird. I don't know why he was just there like cocking, and I was like, is he stuck? Is there like a rock on his wing or something? And then all of them get crushed. I wonder what happened to Jacques, though, because obviously Cinder came through to get Watts. You know, Robin protected herself. Crow's a bird, so maybe he could fly out of there, but Jacques is like the one person who's probably the one, like, out of anyone here, he's the one that I expect to be like mortally wounded. Not saying I want him to be crushed to death, but yeah, he just seems like the most susceptible to injury, you know, just given the nature of who he is. Anyways, we transition, and I was really excited for this. Nora finally waking up. She got knocked out, what, in the 3rd episode? And she's coming around 5 episodes later. And even now, I still don't think she's going to have, like, this grandiose return to form. She's kind of, you know, she made her mark. She made her stand as the character that we all know her as, you know, be strong and hit stuff and be badass while you do it. And she's just been bedridden. She's like me on a sick day, you know, she's been sick for like 5 days now. I was just talking about that. But yeah, it was great to just see her awake and like conscious and not like in life-threatening, you know, in a life-threatening state. Fingers crossed that we can hope the same for Ren by the end of this, because, you know, Nora dodged a bullet and now it's Ren's turn to get in front of the gun. You know what I mean? Like, Nora's, you know, danger zone has come and gone, and now they're putting Ren through that same thing. Obviously it was a little different before, where he was kind of like in that negative headspace before his semblance leveled up, but now I feel like now they're gonna switch the script on us. Before it was, oh no, I want Nora to be safe, I don't want her to be hurt or whatever, because, you know, how's Ren gonna feel? And now it's gonna be vice versa. Nora's getting better, and now Ren's gonna be in a little bit of danger. And obviously Penny too, like, they brought her in, and this is what basically sets up. Also, nice T-pose there, Whitley asserting dominance as the heir of the Schnee fortune. Like the man the man that you're building yourself up to be. You'll love to see it. I don't know, that was kind of a weak T-pose. It was just like, it wasn't like his arms weren't parallel. They were just, I don't know. It could have been better. Could have been a better T-pose, I'll be honest. But yeah, another thing here, and I noticed this while I was getting the clips earlier. I don't know if this is a Snow White and the Seven Dwarves reference, but obviously Weiss is a reference to Snow White, her family. Klein's a reference to the Seven Dwarves. And so when Nora woke up and she's looking around the room, I was like, holy shit. The mirror on her wall looks exactly like the magic mirror from Snow White. Also, the mirror that's in Willow's room looks the exact same. And I wonder if that's intentional. You know, like mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And I was like, holy shit, that's so fucking cool. And then I saw the one in Willow's room. Hers is like on I don't know what it's called, but it was kind of like attached to like her nightstand desk, whatever, you know, thing in the room. So they both have the same exact one. So I was like, that literally, and then I went to like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs like animation. I wish I put the side by side here, but I forgot to grab it. But yeah, it looks exactly like yeah, Vanity. There you go. I'm not a girl. I'm sorry. I don't know those things. Yeah, her Vanity. There you go. But yeah, it looks just like the magic mirror. I would know. I've played Kingdom Hearts. I've seen it enough times in Birth by Sleep. But yeah, I just thought that was a really cool, might be a reference, you know what I mean? Just one of many Snow White references regarding Weiss, now that we're in her room and we're seeing like the full scope and the full, you know, obviously she's got the fireplace, her bed, and everything else in between. But yeah, thought that was a really neat little reference, a little Easter egg, if you will. One thing about Klein that I noticed that I'm just like, I feel like his switches are obviously subconscious, right? Because at first everyone's like, hey, we need you to save this girl, Nora, she's our friend. And then they come in with Penny, a robot, and they're like, hey, Klein, we need you to save this girl, Penny, she's our friend. And Klein's like, bro, I'm one man, you know what I mean? And like the Grumpy comes out, he's like, I don't even know what the hell this is. How the hell can I even save her? And then he's like, okay, let me tone it down a little bit. So I kind of like that these outbursts of personality switches are kind of I feel like they're subconscious and they just happen in the moment. That none I don't think any of them are intentional. You know, it's based on like maybe how he's feeling or how the situation will affect his mood change. You know, so it's almost kind of like a mood ring / Seven Dwarves aspect. So obviously we got Grumpy here. I believe the blue eyes are Sneezy because he does sneeze in the episode. And I think natively or inherently he might be Doc, right? Obviously Doc is the doctor of the Seven Dwarves. So him assisting to Penny and Nora might be his baseline, like base Klein. Because I don't think he just has 7 different personalities and we never see who the true Klein is, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm a doctor, not a mechanic, Klein. Yeah, they need to add the eighth dwarf, mechanic, yeah. But yeah, I base Klein. Okay, dude. Clever. Oh my god, yo, you know what I just thought? Imagine Ren used his semblance on Klein, and Klein has like 7 different fucking personalities in one. He would be like every shade of the color of the rainbow constantly. It wouldn't even be the little flowers. Like his body would just be different gradients of color. And Ren would just be like, what the fuck is this man? Like this guy's an otherworldly, like freak of nature being. I have no idea what the hell I'm looking at. Yeah, I think that'd be dope. That'd be really cool. A pile of colorful leaves. Well, I mean, I think that's what like winter was initially. But he's just like every spectrum of color. I think that'd be really cool. You know? And what would and another thing, backpedaling off of that one, I wonder how Ren's semblance would ascend even further if he used Jean to amplify it. Right, because I like initially it was you know, you can extend your neutral emotions to other people, and you know that I think I said like world peace. If you use Jean amplifying Ren's semblance, then world peace, everyone would be chilled the fuck out. But now that his semblance has evolved and he can see other people's emotions, not just project a calming emotion across all people. I wonder what that would be like. God, Jean needs to do that. Jean needs to like I guess, well, I guess it doesn't really have that effect because John has done that, but he's only amplified the range of the semblance, not the effects of it. He's not making the effects greater. He's just allowing it to last a longer period of time. Yeah. Hey, Koga, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, it's always great to see. It's great to see Klein, right? Like, he got showcased in the last episode, finally coming back with the help of, you know, Whitley making that call for himself, right? No one told him to do it. He wasn't influenced by anybody. He was obviously doing something benevolent and obviously something that was going to help out everybody. So it's just great to see that, you know, Klein's back in the picture and we get to see more of him, right? Like, I think the only time we really saw him in Volume 4 was when he brought coffee to Weiss and when he was helping her break out, you know what I mean? But nothing as significant as now, and I hopefully we get to see maybe just a little bit more of the dynamic between him and the rest of the family. It's so unfortunate that we might not get that with Winter and Klein, because I'm so annoyed that when Winter was here, I'll talk about that. We'll talk about Winter in a second, because that actually has me a little annoyed with this episode. Anyways, great to see Klein. He's a real one. He's great. Glad to have him back. This little moment right here, I wanna just emphasize. I just liked. So I wasn't the biggest fan of how dark this episode was, because going back and rewatching it, I was like, I feel like I can't see some stuff because just the shadows are like super dark, and some scenes are like, I was like, damn, if it could just be a little brighter, that'd be great. Also, the bigger takeaway, if you guys didn't know, right? But the bigger takeaway of this episode is that May's name spelled backwards is Yam. And you can see it right there on the scroll. And I thought that was really funny. So May's name is officially Yam. Calling it right now. And it's actually like appropriately spelled, like because the Y is symmetrical. The Y, A, and the M are all symmetrical letters. So it literally looks like her name is Yam. But yeah, I thought that was really funny. I was like, oh, okay, that's a thing. But yeah, and obviously, you know, May couldn't stick around forever. She gave everybody a choice. Time's running out. I really liked this shot right here of like the airspace of everything that's going on. It's pretty chaotic, right? You see lancers, you see tempests, you see like this dark like this dark ocean cloud that's surrounding the entire skies. You see the tempest that's just crushing these Elysian airships. And we've seen how formidable these things are, right? Like, it took Torchwick taking over one to destroy another one. So then you got these big Grimm that are just like ripping them in half, like out of the sky. And I don't know, it's just chaos up here. Obviously, there's a bunch of gunfights going on, a bunch of airships that are trying to defend Atlas the best that they can. And it just looks like the apocalypse up here. And then May's just like trying to make it back. They also mentioned that there was like a bombing run that was going on down in Mantle, and obviously the power also went out. Actually, no, it was a bombing in Atlas, because you know the power went out at the Schnee Manor. So they're just trying to do everything. Arnold, are you simping for the lighting? Not super hard. Like, I'm definitely trying to compliment it for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely being I'm being a bit more tame right now. It's the Grimm apocalypse. Yeah, so it's just interesting to see. One of the Tempests cracked the ship in half like a fucking kraken. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this one right here. And yeah, for those who didn't know, that these Grimm, that a lot of us, I guess, were under the initial suspicion that they were just giant seer, right? They were acting as like 5G towers or whatever, because they looked like the seer Grimm, but just giant form. And maybe that's how Salem's communicating with all of her forces throughout the kingdom. But no, these are called Tempests. I guess in the same way that the whale is a an oceanic mammal. They have Grimm that are reflective of this dark ocean of Salem's like Grimm clouds or whatever, and so they have like jellyfish looking Grimm called Tempests, and yeah, that's the name of them, and they do their thing. They're not just there for show. They're actually putting in work, which is a little terrifying, not gonna lie. But yeah, so we got that. And then we shift to this scene here. So this is actually, I'm not really going to talk too much about this because this was the sneak peek that we got. So for those of you who did see it during the hiatus, Rooster Teeth revealed a 30-second sneak peek clip of the following episode for episode 8. After the mid-season break. I did post that to the channel and a bunch of people did see it. But yeah, this is essentially the scene that they gave us in anticipation of, hey, this is what you get to look forward to when the show comes back. You know, and it's obviously RWBY reflecting on the fact that, yo, there's only so much I can fucking take. There's Nora, there's Penny, there's the Crater, there's all this stuff that's going on. And obviously Klein's trying to, you know, give the best words of wisdom or the words of encouragement with a little help from Sneezy there. So it's always good to see. I really want to see the sides of him that we haven't seen yet, right? We've seen Sneezy. I feel like I always talk about this, but we see Sneezy, Doc, I think Bashful, or Happy. I forgot what the yellow eyes one is. I think the yellow eyes is Happy. We've seen Grumpy. We haven't seen Dopey. We haven't seen... I actually don't know which other ones we haven't seen. There's no... have we seen... I think we've seen at least 5 of them. Weren't all of them in Chibi? I haven't watched Chibi yet. I do know that Klein is in Chibi, but I haven't seen Chibi 3 yet. I'm also talking about like canon. Like RWBY proper. But yeah, I haven't seen all of them, and I don't know what colors would be representative of that. But yeah, yeah, sorry, I'm just reading chat really quick. Oh, sleepy is Klein when he actually sleeps. That's funny. Is the Grim Whale supposed to be Monster or Moby Dick? I'm going to say both. Both is good. No, they actually did confirm that the whale, the Grim is called Monstra. So it is a reference to Monstro, which is a reference to Pinocchio in the same way that Penny is a reference to Pinocchio and Pietro is a reference to Geppetto. So it's all a Pinocchio reference. So yeah, the whale is a reference to the Monstro whale from Pinocchio. But yeah, and obviously we got Mama Schnee. Like, praise the Lord, we got Mama Schnee back in the picture. You know, she's great. Yeah, she's great. We'll go with that. She's great. But yeah, and then the follow-up scene right here, we get the first kind of interactions with Whitley and his mom. And obviously I was expecting this, right? Like, she pretty much abandoned her responsibilities as the parent, abandoned her responsibilities, you know, in place of, like, obviously, not really abandoned, but obviously, Jacques pushed her to that point, right? Pushed her to, you know, basically, using alcohol as a coping mechanism to kind of forget her current living situation, her marriage and stuff like that. And she's probably neglected, you know, her children as a result, right? Winter left off to join the military. Weiss left off to go to Beacon, and then Whitley was just left with his dad. So everyone is kind of going through their own versions of isolation, as Weiss told to Yang back in Volume 5. And yeah, it's gonna take a little bit of it's gonna take a while for these two to kind of build that relationship up again, because I feel like Willow needs to kind of you know, step up as the parent, take charge. You know, she's a Schnee. She's the true, like, owner of the Schnee, you know, the Schnee, you know, the Schnee name and the legacy, you know. Jacques only married into it, you know what I mean? So he doesn't really have the authority, and he's not even in the picture anymore. And I just think she needs to be there for her son more than anything, because Weiss isn't going to be here. You know, she's only here for a moment, and Winter's not going to be around forever either. Especially, I don't even know what they plan on doing with Winter this volume, but, you know, Winter's loyalties is to Ironwood and the Kingdom and the academies and, you know, the special operatives. So, so yeah, there's just a lot of repairing that needs to be done with these two, and I think this episode was a great first start, because at the end of the day, Willow did step up this episode, and she did show affection and show that obviously she needs to be there for her kids and protect them, especially, you know. I did see this one tweet that really got me thinking, and I'm going to present this idea or this thought to the chat in case you guys haven't seen it, or if you guys haven't really interpreted this scene the same way that some people on Twitter have. But it's a very interesting one, right? Because we really have to ask ourselves, why did Klein get fired? Why was Klein let go, truly? You know, we obviously think that it's because he helped Weiss escape. But some people think that the interaction here between Willow and Klein tells a different story. Because Willow's just like, oh, Klein, you're here. And then Klein just like looks at her and nods. And then Weiss gives this very confused look on her face, like, wait, what the hell? What's going on? Like, what was that interaction? Hello? And I'm going to just say that I wouldn't be surprised with obviously the marital issues that come with living with someone like Jacques Schnee and someone like Willow, who's like an alcoholic and someone that's kind of like, you know, I doubt there's any type of romantic interest or anything of that sort going on with her and Jacques. So yeah, I'm kind of wondering if there's something there. Obviously, there were some people on Twitter that subscribed to that idea, and that was what was going around on Twitter. Don't know, can't really say for sure. Maybe Klein was affectionate towards her, and Jacques was like, "Hey, what the hell is this? Get out of my house." But yeah, that's, because I'm like, why would Willow just be surprised that Klein is there? Obviously, if she found out he got fired, that's one thing, but wouldn't she be surprised or excited that Klein is back? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's always been in the kids' lives, and has always been a part of serving the family. So it's just a little odd that their interaction right here was very lukewarm compared to Weiss's response to seeing Klein, or our response to seeing Klein again. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure Whitley's gonna be excited because he'll be able to have crepes for breakfast again, you know. So I just thought it was gonna be I thought it was just gonna be a bit more fanfare on the return of Klein for everybody in the house, but maybe things are a little different. But yeah, like I said, that wasn't my idea or theory or whatever. But yeah, we can and obviously they're both adults. I'm pretty sure they're around the same age. Who knows? But anyways, yeah, that's the thought process of this scene for some people. And I thought it was interesting enough to at least talk about it. I think Willow is just too influenced to care. Well, I mean, she said she's not above, she's above drinking in the dark. So I don't think she was drunk at that moment. But then again, the power did recently go out, so yeah, I could see that, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, so this was great, man. So this is where I think Whitley is, they're really, like, changing Whitley's character around, and it's kind of crazy how people treated Whitley when they first saw him, and obviously we associated him with the same way we associated Whitley back then, his behavior, with the same behavior that Jacques showed Weiss. And I'll admit, that was kind of unfair for the viewers to just be like, oh, you're a bad person, or we don't like you because of the way you act. You remind us of a character that we genuinely dislike, so, you know, you're guilty by association. And so, no, I wouldn't say Whitley redemption arc. I don't think there's anything that he necessarily needs redeeming for. Like, redeeming is when, like, you do something messed up and you feel bad about it and you want to change yourself as a person because of that, and so you do the steps to make yourself a better person. He's a kid. I don't really think he's done anything necessarily wrong, as much as he was just a victim and prey for Jacques to kind of get the things that he wanted out of him. I don't really subscribe to this idea that Whitley needs redemption as much as I think he needs character development. And I think now that Jacques not in the picture anymore, now that he's kind of around really good-willed people, like people who mean well and people who are just trying to do the best that they can, You know, and he's not even like, even his mom isn't really like, this is all really him. You know, they're just putting the ideas and the thoughts in his head of like, damn, man, we have all of this influence. We have all of this power. We're treated a little bit differently than other people, which is kind of fucked up. But, you know, at least we can get our power back on and we'll be all right. And he thinks to himself, okay, well, how can I turn this into something that can benefit more than just me and my ego and my family? And I like how he's allowing himself to just think on those things. And this bottom part right here, like this entire scene, I was just like, I can actually see Whitley being the change that the Schnee-Dust Company family name needs, right? Like someone who just puts others before himself, and he's just thinking very empathetically about genuinely doing right by the people. And so I really, really like that. Like this was all really on his potential as a character, and the fact that he's thinking for himself, he's acting for himself. I really wonder how that's going to how that's going to be put to the test, because no one in like basically the prison is kind of like, you know, everyone can do whatever the hell they want. The dust fields are down. Cinder went to go and get Watts, so they're off. Obviously Crow and Robin are gonna, you know, come to and probably go on their way. And if Jacques isn't dead, if he wasn't crushed to death, first thing he's probably going to do is head back to his estate and try to get some semblance of control or power or influence or something. And that's when Whitley really is going to have to like put his foot down and stand up to his father with the help of his mother, hopefully with the help of Winter still there. I'm sorry, Weiss still there. And that'd be fucking great if the whole family came together and just was like, yo, we're disowning you. I want a divorce. You'll have no power, no authority now. And, you know, you can go and fend for yourself. I really hope that that's what they're heading towards. And I think Whitley's has so much potential as a character and as someone who will eventually get older and be able to handle the responsibilities. Because I don't think Weiss would ever want... I mean, it's not to say that Weiss wouldn't, but I definitely would picture Weiss more so being someone who travels and decides to help people in that way instead of just being stuck in one place, you know, being Atlas, stuck in one place and just helping her people in that way. I think Whitley, that might be more of Whitley's calling. Who knows? But yeah, I just really like what they're doing with his character. And I really, really hope that similar to Winter, similar to Weiss, similar to Willow, every Schnee has the ability to summon. You know, that's what Winter said in Volume 3. Every Schnee has the ability to summon. We have for generations. And just because Whitley isn't combat oriented, just because Whitley doesn't have a semblance right now, doesn't mean that he isn't capable of it, right? He is a Schnee by blood on his mother's side, and so he has that potential. Whether he decides to, you know, because obviously his initial mindset in Volume 4 was like, or Volume 4, Volume 5 was like, oh, you know, fighting is barbaric. It's beneath people like me and father. But I feel like that was more of like him subscribing to the idea of that because of his dad, not necessarily how he felt about it. And so I feel like he could also have the potential to have a semblance, you know, to unlock his glyph semblance and to be able to summon and do all that other shit, because clearly from this episode, we see that Mama Schnee can do it, and they already confirmed that in the comics. But it's kind of cool that we see 3 out of 4 of them, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nicholas Schnee, right, the great-grandfather, the grandfather of the company who founded the Schnee-Dust Company, wouldn't be surprised if he had that in mind, or if he was capable of stuff like that too, you know, because he was a huntsman, or he was someone who went out and fought, you know, and also like excavated and explored and all that other stuff. So, but yeah, long story short, because I feel like I'm beating a dead horse at this point, I like what they're doing with Whitley. It saddens me that we're getting all this development and characterization for him now, and it's not really gonna last, right? Like, we're only in Atlas for the rest of this volume, most likely, and then we have to move on. And so it's kind of unfortunate that for majority of Whitley's time in the show, he's been like the shitly for everyone. He's just been someone that people have taken shots at, you know, constantly. And it wasn't really until last volume that a lot of that started coming around for people, because people really started to see that he was a kid at the end of the day, and, you know, he's just doing what he's told. And he was just as much of a victim as Willow or Winter or Weiss. It's just that he did a very good job of hiding it. And so yeah, I just really hope that whatever else they do for Whitley, it shines on for the rest of the volume, and hopefully it matters in the long term. And maybe, if he does unlock his glyph, maybe he can use the goddamn time dilation semblance, the time dilation ability that we've been waiting for since Volume 2. That'd be fucking great, because I feel like Rooster Teeth has forgotten about that, or just doesn't care to bring that back anymore, and it's really sad and unfortunate. So that would make Whitley, that would put Whitley so much higher on the list for me if he could just fucking time dilate and go super fast and buff up people around him. I really thought they were going to try to do that against the Hound, but especially because, like, Weiss went toe-to-toe with him, I was like, come on, man. Why are we still waiting for this, bro? It's Volume 8. God damn it. God damn it. Anyways. Hey, if you guys can, go on Twitter right now. Actually, don't do that. Never mind. Don't do that, because I don't want to, like, mass spam, like, the writers or whatever. I'm not going to do that. Never mind. I would just say, express on your own social media how you feel about time dilation, how much you miss it, how much you'd like to see it again. Don't tag anybody in the tweet or the comment, but just express how much you'd like to see that again. And maybe in another 6 volumes, we'll get it. You know? God damn it. All right, anyways, I am a big fan of scenery. None of you guys should be surprised about that. And I just like the moon, okay? I just really like this shot of the moon. Like, the moon looks cool. I kind of wish it had a bit more significance other than just being something that the God of Darkness was like, the moon existed. It's like, moon exists, the God of Darkness, and I took it personally. So let me just freaking barrel right through it as I leave this cursed planet. Yeah, I don't know. They just make the moon look so freaking cool, dude. It just looks badass, and like just in the night sky, it just looks really, really good. And then this scene right here too. Oh my god! Holy shit! Is this happening in 2021, guys? Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? I don't know if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing right now. But let me just go out on a limb and say, I think we're getting some Blake and RWBY moments in 2021. I cannot believe this. Holy shit, dude. Who would have thought? Oh my god. Oh, man. Not gonna lie, I was like, wait a minute. They let Blake and RWBY go here alone? Are we about to have some ladybug moments in 2021? Are you for real? Yeah. I give it people. I'm a troll a little bit. All right. I'll be honest, guys. I troll a lot. I'm the first person that's like, oh my god, Blake and RWBY are speaking for the first time in like 18 volumes. Can you believe it? They haven't talked to each other since. They haven't talked to each other since they were born. I obviously am just playing up a meme, guys. At the same time, they very rarely have any meaningful form of conversation. I also kind of find it a little odd that some people use the in my opinion, some people like if you were to just say Blake and RWBY have never talked to each other, and people's initial thing is, well, they talked to each other in volume 1. I think that emphasizes the point perfectly that you have to go that far back to have any sort of like talking points. I think that's the whole point. It's like they shouldn't just have the volume 1 chapter 3 or 4 conversation as like, yeah, they did talk, because like, you know, how far back has that been? You know what I mean? Like, that's volume 1. They've come such a long way. It's been years in show on top of that. So I'm glad that they at least, like, I just like to see like that they actually talk and like what they talk about. And Blake confiding in her leader, and she's always done that, you know what I mean? She's always mentioned, like, Ruby's our leader, she can take care of herself, you know, but at the same time, like, it's a lot different than, like, Weiss and Yang, or Blake and Yang, especially Blake and Yang, or Weiss and RWBY. Like, Blake and RWBY are just kind of like, I don't know, it's just like an odd pairing, like, that we've never really seen that between them two. They did in Haven, yeah, for like, Blake, what have you been up to? I was gonna ask you the same thing. That's a long story. It's like, oh, okay, well, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's the equivalent of saying that you and another person are super close friends because you had like a 2-second conversation on an elevator ride or something, you know? It's just, you know what I mean? It's like, I wouldn't say we're friends just because we said hi to each other that one day. Sister-in-law conversation. Oh God, if anything, that means I'd expect them to be closer. Yeah, I think this was a very, I think this scene is something that I wanted, especially for me. It's like, okay, how does Blake feel about RWBY? You know what I mean? One of the conversations that people use is like, again, volume 1. But, like, Blake was really pretty much telling RWBY, she's like, oh, you know, like, that's great that you want to be a huntress that way, but that's kind of naive, and you're a little kid, so you're going to have a rude awakening when you graduate and you realize the world isn't the way that you expect it to be. Now, she has, like, this different perspective on RWBY based on the years that she's known her. Even though they haven't had many on-screen moments, it's not to say that they haven't bonded, they haven't grown as characters together, you know? So obviously, I expect her to have some more insight into who RWBY is as a person, as a leader, and the struggles and strife and situations that she's gone through. And then, obviously, we, as the viewer, can also imply some of those moments because we've seen it firsthand, right? Blake was being like, you know, as a girl, I thought that things were going to be, you know, I didn't know if I was ready for the world because of life and other things like joining a radical terrorist organization, you know, partnering up with someone like Adam, who really used his influence and his power and her affection of him as a means of control, as a means of getting the things that he wanted and using other people as assets and tools. So I think and another thing too, I see some people comparing like, oh, this was okay, but this wasn't on the level of like the burning the candle, right? Burning the candle with Blake and Yang in volume 2. And, you know, obviously, I'll give credit to that. That wasn't nearly as in-depth because that was Yang trying to get through to Blake with commonality, with like a common focus of like, hey, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but at the very least, I can kind of help you understand how I see your situation because I've gone through something similar. And this is kind of like an elevator situation. It's like, well, we have a short time to chat really quick. The generator's going up. This isn't like the same as like the time that Blake and Yang gave each other to have that talk. And so, you know, I think that at the same time, what about my boy Sun Wukong? Well, I mean, Blake has her feelings about Sun. It's not to say, like, Sun's not here. What do you want her? You want Blake to talk to RWBY about how she feels about Sun in this situation when RWBY's down on herself, where she's kind of, like, losing hope, losing focus, and Blake's trying to uplift her and let her know, hey, you know, you might not know the best things to do, but you've always tried, you know? And even if things are where they are right now, you have to count your blessings. You have to account for and be proud of the steps that you have taken instead of looking at all the places where you think you could have done better. That's a part of life. That's a part of growing. You know, so, and Sun's with Neptune, so Sun's fine, you know? Sun needs to worry about his own team, okay? Instead of tagging along elsewhere while his teammates are getting freaking wrecked and God knows where, you know? Try to establish a better rapport with your actual teammates. And thankfully, we get that a little bit in the book. But, you know, Sun's fine. Sun's fine. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, so long story short, I like this moment. We don't see nearly as much interactions with characters like Blake and Like Blake and RWBY. It's the same way. It's the same thing that I said about Ren hugging Yang in Volume 6 after they came back from when they made it to Argus. It's not to say like, oh, why the hell are they hugging each other? They're not. It's like, okay, I expect you to be friends, but I've never seen Yang and Ren interact with each other. So that hug was just kind of like, that's odd. I don't see it, so I can't just take their word. I can't, you know, it's like I can't see it, so a part of me can't believe it. You know, and then when they actually do interact with each other, it's a big freaking argument in the middle of the tundra. So, you know, take that for what it, you know, take that as you will. StarCraft Squall, red and black were in electrical fixing the lights during the emergency. Anyone sus? Oh man, actually during my reaction I mentioned, I'm like, oh shit, they're playing Dead by Daylight because they're like repairing the generator, and like the fucking hound is like the big evil like you know, menace that's supposed to like kill them and stuff like that. So I thought of Dead by Daylight when this whole thing was happening, but that's actually a good that's a pretty neat gaming comparison as well. Slayercast, some nice future sister-in-law action, am I right? No comment. Roderick, no comment, just wanted to support you. I look forward to seeing your reactions when I watch the episodes. I don't fanboy as much, but I admit I do have a bunch of oh crap moments whenever the hound talked. Yeah, the hound talking, I'm just like my brain's just melting. I'm just like, I still can't believe it. Like, I still can't believe it's not butter. It's like, I still can't believe the hound's talking, even though he talked in chapter. It's just such a like holy shit moment that I'll never get used to. But yeah, ultimately thought this was a good scene, and hopefully we get to see more of it with other characters as well. And yeah, I guess I should have switched to this scene right here, because this is the conversation that they were actually talking about and having. And again, you could pretty much understand where Blake is coming from with the things she talks about, right? She distanced herself from her family. She joined the White Fang. You know, she followed Adam. And it wasn't until the Black trailer that she decided to, you know, make a, you know, carve a new path. And then even then, it took volumes for her to really get to the point where she felt free, that she can actually, you know, have a meaningful and fulfilling life without feeling like she's always gonna have this target on her back because of someone like Adam Taurus. So yeah, I just really liked this entire moment right here. You know, RWBY, she's like, thanks, Blake. You know what I mean? It's like, sometimes you just need that. Sometimes you just need that reassurance, even if you're feeling down about yourself, you know? So, why is the hound so durable? I will talk about that. I definitely have a lot of vibes about the hound and speculations about the hound moving forward. So yeah, we'll definitely have a bunch of talk about the hound towards the end of the episode. Oh my god. Yo, someone in chat was just like, well, does that mean that Whitley can summon the hound at this point in the show? Because he technically did killed the hound with the statue. I'm gonna say no, just because that would be pretty broken, and that Grim is an exception. I don't think anyone's gonna be summoning that Grim anytime soon. And it wasn't like really of his own accord. It was like an environmental kill, so I don't think that counts. If anything, I would say Willow could do it because she helped him, but that'd be busted if Whitley's just like, yo, hound, let's go. But yeah, okay, so the electricity comes back on, and in proper Schnee fashion, they're super extra. They're like, hey, our electricity is tethered to these, I don't know how the fuck we're doing it, but the lights are the candles, I guess? So is it like electric dust channeled through these wicks that ignite and form candles? It looks super cool. Like, it's badass, don't get me wrong, you know? Do you guys remember Volume 3? Another thing that reminded me of this that I remembered, which it was super odd. In Volume 3, the Chapter 11, when Cinder shoots Amber and like shoots her through the heart and kills her, all of the candles in the vault extinguish. And that's what it reminded me of. And I was like, what was that about? Like why was that a thing? Like, was she powering the vault? I have no clue. But that's what this reminds me of, because it's the same kind of like candle effect kind of thing going on. I guess it was just for like the tone. I mean, it was badass, like, don't get me wrong, but like, yeah, like the candles in the vault, like going out when Amber died, I was like, well, what was that? Like, how did that happen? How did she just take out all these lights? It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it was a very Harry Potter moment. Yeah, dramatic effect for sure. The sound that goes with the lights too was just really like, mwah. It was all really good. Yeah, symbolic. I'll say it was symbolic. Like, yo, the last light has been extinguished. We won this. Yeah. But yeah, oh yeah, the same thing too with the candles in Brunswick Farms. Like, she just lights up her Martinaster, and then like the fire just like instantly goes to all that. That was like on some Harry Potter shit too. Like, I don't know why they're just channeling their inner Hogwarts with all of this, with all of these candle moments and the food fight, all the tables going back together in the Great Hall. Just a lot of vibes. Yeah, Lumos. Yeah. Okay, so before we get into anything, so the lights are back on, power's back on in the house, the computer boots back up, Whitley's getting into his computer, or into his father's computer, and I did mention this on Twitter actually this morning, technically, because I was, like, up super late, like, putting this stream together, and, I initially noticed it on Saturday when I rewatched the episode with my Discord, and then I rewatched it again, and again, and again, and I was, like, focusing and enhancing and changing the lighting of like pictures and stuff like that. Okay, so I need to know that. So when Whitley gets on the computer, it's like, welcome back, Jacques. Obviously, enter your password. Whitley types in WHI. Okay, WHI. I'm pretty sure that's a W, that's an H, and that's an I. Like, you would have to like watch it on your end. I even watched it on my like 65-inch TV in the living room just to make sure just so I could have like a bigger resolution to actually see it out. And then I was like, is Whitley the password? Like Whitley Schnee. And then it went a little step further, because then I remembered rather, that he has a picture of Whitley on his desk. If you zoom in right here, he's like, oh, what's my password? Oh yeah, that's right. I have a picture of it right here on my desk so I don't forget. So, I think it's safe to say that not only can Jacques Schnee not tie a goddamn tie and he has to wear a clip-on, but he doesn't even remember his own password unless he has the picture right there on his fucking desk. Need I say more? Yeah, some people were saying like, you know, like how your computer gives you like a hint if you like log it in wrong. Like the password hint would be like my favorite son, my only son, or my favorite child, or whatever. And it would have been good old Whitley. But yeah, I just thought that was really funny, and I was like, I'm just gonna double down on this fucking meme. Like, there's actually people out there that are also upset that the fucking tie is canon. It's like, bro, he was wearing the tie before it was canon, so it was a clip-on before I said it was a clip-on. All right, so relax, hold your horses, okay? It's not that serious. It's not gonna be changing the revolution of the plot of this show, right? They're not gonna kill Salem by choking her out with a clip-on tie. Relax, okay? Have a little fun. Relax. Or at the very least, let other people have fun, goddammit. Anyways, Jacques can't tie a tie, and Jacques doesn't remember his password unless the picture's on his table. I'm not taking any criticism today, okay? That's that, all right? Take it or leave it. That's the series, everybody, all right? You knew what you signed up for 100 episodes ago, all right? Anyways, I thought this scene was really funny, too. Because, like, I was like, no wonder Blake's scared. She's looking at a dog right now. Do you see how she reacts to Zwei and Ruby Chibi? Of course she's gonna be scared about the goddamn Hound Grim. And she's, like, so shocked that she's not even like, Ruby's like, what is it? And, like, Ruby has to, like, turn around because Blake is just stunned in fear. Like, her mortal enemy looking her dead in the face right now. But yeah, this was a really, this was the tease of the episode. I think this was what the episode was teased on Twitter for the episode 100 during that 100 episode compilation that they did on Twitter. But yeah. Yep. Sad kitty, bad dog. These are unauthorized snuggles. Yeah. These are the type of unauthorized snuggles that Blake's not a fan of, okay? Like, getting punched across the freaking courtyard by the hound. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Blake's not a fan of that. That's so funny, dude. That's so funny. But yeah, I just thought this was a real... I was like, of course the cat faunus would be scared about the dog Grim. But obviously, the set... So here's the thing. I don't know if any of you guys feel the same way, but I think Rooster Teeth has a really good knack at nailing, like, horror atmosphere. Right, a lot of people say that Brunswick Farm is like one of the best arcs in the series. You know, like the apathy, the mystery of it all, the like the tension, the uncertainty, the unknown, and then like just the scare factor, the fact that the apathy are some of like the most terrifying Grim, even though they're not the most ferocious. But even what they're capable of doing is just like they're so threatening. That if you're near more than a couple of them, you're kind of screwed. That's why I feel like having the apathy here in the war against Atlas is super unfair. It's like, why the fuck would you bring those back of all things? Like, that's like, you know what it reminds me of? It's like the apathy are kind of like the after effects of an atomic bomb. It's like if the fucking mushroom blast doesn't kill you, the radiation will. That's what the apathy are. The apathy is the radiation effect after all of the initial threats and targets are dealt with. And yeah, I just think like that's probably worse than getting like vaporized by the initial blast of all these Grim that are coming at them first. Because at least then you have a fighting chance. But the apathy, you just have to stay away from them. I don't even think it's possible to just fight them dead on unless you have silver eyes. Miles wrote the episode? Yeah, Miles is a fucking... Miles just knows his horror shit. Yeah, Miles is really good at that. Yeah, and he also talked about the apathy. Yeah, so I didn't know... I didn't know who... I didn't pick up on who wrote this episode, but if it's Miles, it makes perfect sense. Holy shit. Yeah, Miles wanted to do the apathy for a while. I think they wanted the apathy during the Beacon arc, and I'm just like, the tone wasn't right. You're at a fucking school. It was like a slice of life, like high school anime. Volumes 1 through 3. Well, 1, 2, and half of 3, rather. But yeah. Miles already left. Yeah, Miles is no longer officially with Rooster Teeth, but he is still contracted to write for RWBY until, most likely until it's done. So yeah, Miles is no longer a Rooster Teeth employee. He's a contractor at this point because, you know, obviously he's going to see this project through to the end. So, you know, and chances are he still wants to work on it. So, yeah. But yeah, I just think like like this felt very much similar. Like I felt very anxious the entire time, especially when Whitley was in the office and he was like scolding his mother, and then the fucking hound just creeps in, and I was just like, I was just like dead. I felt like I held my breath and everything. I was just like, this kid's about to get eaten. So yeah, they nailed that. They did a really good job with that, I think. All right, hold on, give me 1 second. I need to. Okay, there we go. We're good now. Yeah, the escalation of fear and way things could go south is wild. Yeah, because it's like, Whitley, like, bro, I bet you wish you learned how to fight now, dude, because, I mean, it's not going to matter all that much, but, like, the motherly instincts kicked in. I felt like that was what Willow needed to get her shit together. She's like, yo, one of my kids is in danger. I gotta protect them. I gotta go in there and I gotta freaking do the best that I can. And I'm so proud of her too, because it's like, fuck yeah, I knew you could do it. And it was just so validating to actually see the summon, like to see it and like for myself. And then there's some people that were like, oh, where did that summon come from? It's like, well, Weiss isn't around. Willow isn't around. I mean, Weiss isn't around. Winter isn't around. Klein isn't a Schnee. You know? Clearly it had to be her, and it was her. So, yeah, I was really happy to see that. And it was an alpha on top of that. But yeah, so this moment too is just obviously we're seeing some of the effects of like when things are getting troubled, right? When things are becoming too much for her, for Willow, she resorts to, you know, to drinking. And I liked this little interaction here with the siblings, with Willow, with Whitley, and why she's like, he's like, oh, we still need to work on your attitude, dude. And I don't know, I don't think they do. Like I think Whitley's sass, right? Of all people, Weiss has plenty of sass. Maybe she's like, well, I'm old enough, all right? You have to respect your elders. Don't talk to your older sister like that, or whatever. But I think that that's what gives Whitley his personality. Like that's just his personality coming out, you know. And so or maybe this is just you know, the sibling banter. You know what I mean? I took this more as like sibling interaction, sibling banter. It's like, oh, your little kid brother. You know, you're trying to, you know, you want what's best for him, but you know, every so often he bites back, and you know, you got to deal with that, but you still love him and all that stuff. So, yeah, they get it from their mom most likely because they both have sass to go around. You know. Yeah, the Schnee sass. That also comes equipped with the semblance, so, or with the, every Schnee has the ability to sass. We've been able to for generations. That's an actual quote from Winter, by the way, volume 3. Don't believe me? Go back and watch it. Chapter 4, by the way. Anyways, let's get back on track over here. So, I was very impressed with Blake during this sequence, okay? Obviously, she took her lumps this fight. She landed on her feet, as cats do. She tried her best, and then the second Grim just kind of, like, cleaned up. And I wasn't expecting the Hound and that second Grim, like, a 2-in-1, you know, 2-in-1 favor right here. But, yeah, I just thought it was really, I don't know, I just like Blake actually, like, putting in work, you know? Obviously, she's underestimating this Grim. You know, and they're seeing the Grim for the first time, whereas Ren, Jean, and Yang have already encountered it, and they were kind of blindsided. Freaking Oscar got two-pieced by it, too. And the others also all got wrecked. So it's actually kind of crazy. Blake is actually putting up more of a fight with the Hound than Ren, Oscar, Yang, and Jean didn't really do anything. Jean just stood there. Like, Jean, like, drew his sword, but didn't do anything after that. And obviously it was because it talked, but yeah, she, well, I mean, they got wrecked before it talked. So yeah, at this point, Blake is like, it's just a Grim. And she treated it as such. And I don't think she landed, well, she like shot some bullets at it or whatever. But yeah, I just thought I just really appreciated a little action from Blake, even though she got slapped to the side and then she got like punched across to the wall. And another thing too that I appreciate, at least for the Hound Grim itself, is how quickly it's adapted to all of its transformations, right? When we first saw the Grim, like when it first made it seem, you know, when it first went for Oscar, we saw it in its dog form. And then we saw, like, its transformation, and it would always take, like, you actually had to physically see the transformation in real time, and it was just a slow process. And then even when it was channeling its wings, that was like a, you know, oh, everyone's just standing around letting the villain, you know, transform. That's anime logic right there. That's the #1 rule of anime. You don't interrupt someone when they're transforming. And now it's just going from humanoid to dog to winged, like, all, like, at the drop of a hat. And so it's kind of cool to just see how quick this Grim is evolving to its situation. You know, whether it's in the house, whether it's outside, you know, whatever the case might be. Let's see. Yeah, also, yeah, no aura. I think Ruby's aura was the only aura that broke this episode. Like, Blake's was just getting damaged a bit. Ruby's right there got beaten up a bit, but Ruby's aura actually broke when it dropped her. So yeah, that's something. So like, you can tell when aura breaks, because when aura breaks, there's like a little like a visual glitter almost effect where like you actually see like the aura disperse off of the body. And if it just flickers, then that means, you know, the aura is still there, but it actually, like, you know, you took like a bit of damage. Yeah, particles. Yeah, there you go. It's like the little aura particles that break off of them, and that's been a new. That's been like a recent effect. I think in the last. I think that's been like a recent effect for like the last couple of volumes now. The ground is OP. Well, I mean, she like landed pretty hard, and she also got like. She got like tackled by the Grim too. Ruby's aura I don't think is that strong either. You know, in the same way that you know, people mentioned like Neo probably doesn't get hit a lot when she's in fights or whatever because she's really good at like using the enemy's momentum and energy against them, you know, so she's really good at counterattacking and not getting hit. So that's probably why she got one shot by Penny and she was out for the count because her aura is very brittle. I feel like that's the same way for RWBY. RWBY has the speed semblance, so I feel like RWBY isn't used to getting like hit all the time. You know, she's always able to like move about and stay out of danger. So when she does get hit, you know, she's like high dexterity, you know, low endurance or whatever. If you want to put it in like RPG terminology. But yeah, the ground is OP, yeah. But yeah. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, so this part right here I got really scared of because the second Willow left the room, Penny activated. And I was like, oh god, she's gonna stab him in the back, isn't she, when he's not looking. I was actually thinking something was gonna happen to Klein this episode because it happened on 2 occasions where her and Klein were in the room alone. And, like, I really thought, like, that would have been a perfect time for her to just pull, like, a freaking flash, like, her hand just vibrates so fast that it can just go through things, and she just, like, stabs him through the back or something. I don't know. I wasn't expecting her to just push him to the side. I was expecting her to go, like, Terminator mode, like, actually, like, kill on sight anyone that you see. I was really expecting, like a go crazy. But I guess the chip that Watts put in there, maybe he needs to make that call. You know what I mean? Maybe that's like a clearance thing. Like, okay, this chip has a directive. Your directive is to go to the vault, open the vault, and then self-terminate, so there's no possible way that they can open the vault again. And I had a little bit of a conversation about that, and I'll talk about it once we get to that scene a little further. But yeah, all she does is just grab him and just toss him to the side. I'm just like, oh my god, like, this poor old man. Like, he just got back. This is just like a side hustle gig that he's doing right now. He just got called in to just help a patient. He's trying to help you out too, and you thank him by just throwing him to the side. Yeah, she just like yeeted him. But yeah, and then obviously Willow's kind of losing her grip right now. You know, the situation is getting too much for her, and you know, her coping mechanism is just, you know, to drink, and even then that's becoming unstable for her. So I just like that she was able to bounce back from it eventually when she realized that her family was in danger, and she didn't really reflect too much on much of anything else. I did really like that top scene. However, I thought she was summoning the Sphinx from volume, because the Sphinx had giant wings like that too. But apparently she was summoning a Nevermore. But I saw the wings and I was like, are those the Sphinx wings? Because the Sphinx wings were pretty wide like that too. But yeah, she was summoning a Nevermore, and then these freaking Sentinels just come out of the ground and destroy both of its wings, and I'm like, God, this girl can't catch a break, dude. She was just about to summon a brand new freaking Grim, and you ruined it for us. But yeah, she was summoning a Nevermore indeed. Watching the show for the first time, you know, that initial reaction, you're thinking a bunch of different things. Like, obviously, you're thinking, and I was, like, super hyped and excited, too. So I saw wings, and I was like, Sphinx, not Nevermore. Like, I don't know. Yeah, these Sentinels, man, they're the MVPs of Salem's forces, dude. They destroyed the tower. No, not the tower. They destroyed, like, the energy shield, or the dust shields around the kingdom. They're destroying Weiss's summons with, like, 2 shots. These guys are going to get a big... And then they got a level up. There's a level up. There's, like, an alpha version of them in this fight, too. So, yeah, these Sentinels are popping off, dude. And, yeah, RWBY just, like, falls I feel like she fell on her tailbone too. I'd lose my aura too if that was me. Yeah, she fell on her tailbone, dude. Look at this shit. Hold on. That's why she lost all her aura. The ground isn't OP. It's just when she, it's just look how she landed. Landed right on her ass. Yeah, that would take up all my aura too, and I'd probably pass out from the freaking shock that's sent throughout my body right now. That's solid ground, by the way, if you didn't know that, because she bounces. Yeah, she's out. Yeah, she's out, dude. Like, look at that. Look at this. Let's do this again for emphasis. Yeah, and that's the effect right there that you see. You see those particles that are coming off of her? That's when your aura is definitively broken. And you're probably gonna need to make a trip to the doctors, because that's kind of ridiculous. Yeah, so let me see if I can get a... Oh! Oh, look at that impact. Oh my god, this is awful, dude. Yeah, so if anyone says, wow, I can't believe RWBY just lost damage from her aura, like lost her aura from falling on the ground, it's like, no, dude. You fall on your tailbone and then tell me how you feel the next day. Not even the next day, like literally a minute later. Arnold, stop. Okay, dude, I'm sorry. One more for no, I'm just gonna, all right, I was gonna be like, one more for posterity. Come on, guys. Yeah, so like RWBY being out, I'm surprised she woke up. Surprised she woke up and she was fine, dude. But then again, her aura breaking just meant that the aura took the fall, like took the hit. She probably got a little like recoil from that after landing, but you know, that's why she was, you know, she wasn't like incapacitated. The aura's just, you know, the aura took the full brunt of that. And then we got this. We got a brand new Grim. This is called a Senator. It's essentially an alpha centipede, which, you know, it has like the body of the centipede, and then it kind of looks like a praying mantis and a centipede crossover a little bit, right? Because like the sickle arms, and yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Also, it's got like a giant like belly, and like it has like, I don't know, it's got like a weird looking esophagus, entrail kind of anatomy going on, which stores all the bile, and it can just shoot that disgusting, you know, stuff out at them. And if you guys wanted to see the concept art, this concept art was posted yesterday on Twitter by Larissa, and she is the, I believe she is the lead concept artist, I want to say, I think. And so, yeah, that's it right there in all of its glory. For anybody out there who wants to cosplay, imagine someone doing a cosplay for this. How the fuck would you pull this off? That's crazy, dude. But yeah, that's the I don't know why this abomination is even a thing. Like, what the fuck? Like, why? It's Baja Blast. Okay, that's enough. Let's get that off screen. I don't want the thought of Baja Blast to be sullied by this disgusting Grim. Hey, Hogar, hey, your Spanish crazy fan is here. I'm a bit late, but better late than never. I've been watching for 15 minutes, and I'm scared someone from Team RWBY... Wait, I'm scared of someone from Team RWBY actually dying. I hope no one dies, except Salem. Yeah, I feel like if that happens, it's not going to be until, like, late RWBY. Like, I feel like the potential for anyone to die will most likely be in the final volume. Or anyone from Team RWBY if they decide to go that route. Ugh. All right, you guys are having a little too much fun there talking about... Okay, that's Nickelodeon Slime Grim. All right, dude. Oh, the thumbnail's out? Yo! Okay, I'm not going to show it right now. I'm going to show it at the end. If you guys are here and you guys want to see the thumbnail for the next episode, I will showcase it. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Okay. Chapter 9, eh? So we have the thumbnail and we have the description. And, I'm like, okay. I don't know if I want to show it because I don't know if some people don't want to see it. Okay, here's what I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to. Hey, we still have a discussion. We still have a conversation, okay? I'm going to save this for the end because clearly we still have a lot more to talk about, so I'm expecting most of y'all to still be here. I'm not going to show it until the end because I want to respect people who don't want to see anything. If you do want to see it, stick around. Or just go on Twitter. It's probably on Twitter. You'll probably see it on Twitter somewhere. Other than that, yeah, I'm excited, especially the title of the episode. Oh! Okay. Anyways, moving on. Okay. So Penny is still conflicted over here, but Nora coming through with the MVP strat right here. Learning and passing on the knowledge that was told to her just a few chapters ago, you know? When you've been with someone for so long, they become a part of you. But they're not all of you. Don't forget about the other part. Don't forget about the other part, you know? And I felt like that was good for the moment, right? Obviously, it quelled her a little bit, but, you know, Penny's ultimately technology, and technology makes slaves of us all. And so I'm actually, not gonna lie, I'm actually kind of happy that that happened. I'm not to say that what Nora was doing to get through to her didn't help, because it clearly did for a moment, but I didn't want it to turn into like the power of friendship and talk no jutsu can surpass anything, you know? Like, if that completely nullified Watts' hack, like, indefinitely, like nothing else came of that, they still have Penny on their side, you know, because the Hound didn't get away with her, but that means they're still gonna have to deal with a confrontational Penny, most likely, because Watts still has control. The only reason why she didn't kind of do her own thing is because the Hound interfered, and then there was that little struggle between the two of them, and the Hound isn't going to contemplate like, oh, she's already compromised, she's already on my side, no, I have a mission to do, take the girl, get over here, let's go, we're going back to Salem together, whether you like it or not. But yeah, so I do appreciate, obviously, utilizing Nora to kind of relay this message, to get her to kind of fight off this influence that she doesn't understand, which obviously it's technology. But I'm also happy that it didn't completely overwrite everything that Watts was building up and the show's been building up. So yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, great advice for two different conflicts of self-identity. Yeah, I agree. Penny is ultimately more just technology. Wait, Penny is ultimately more than just technology? Well, I mean, you have to think of it like she's a maiden. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to put that in a perspective. Like, can a machine be... You know what I mean? Like, she has a soul. To the magic of this world, she is a person. You know? So, yeah. Yeah, we're going to talk about the thumbnail at the end, because I have a lot of hopes. I have a lot of hopes, dude. I really, really hope that tomorrow's episode... I'm not going to say anything. Chat, don't say anything either, please. But I really hope... Hold on, let me see. I don't know if there's... Oh, okay, they have the runtime, too. I'm gonna save that for the end as well. So, yeah, so... Title, description, runtime. I'm excited. I'm excited. That's all I'm saying. I'm excited. Okay. Yeah, also, you know, just redheads got to stick together. All the other ones are dying left, right, and center. So, you know, Pyrrha died. Torchwick died. They almost did Nora in chapter 3. Thankfully, they were like, okay, we probably gotta like chill out a little bit, you know. They're putting Penny on the chopping block this volume. I swear to God. God damn it. Adam died too. Yeah, Adam had red hair. Did Summer have red hair? I think Summer had red hair too. Or I think her hair was black with red tips, like RWBY, so I don't know if that counts. Anyways, yeah, redheads gotta stick together, so yeah. With all this said, I did like this little moment right here. So this is like the Schnee family coming together. And, so the top part, so obviously Willow's here. You know, she ran back into her room. Again, see, look at the mirror. You see the mirror in her, on her vanity? That's what it's called, I guess you guys said. It's like where she does like her makeup or whatever. It's where she gets ready in the morning. But yeah, that mirror that's on her vanity looks exactly like the magic mirror. Also, I do like the fact that while Jacques has a picture of Whitley on his desk, right? And I think he had a picture of Weiss on the bookshelf in volume 4. But then when we're back in the office in, what is it, volume 5, volume 6, from his perspective, volume 7, like Weiss's picture is face down. So like he's just like, oh, she's no daughter of mine anymore, you know? So I like that in Willow's room, it seems, she has a picture of all 3 of her kids on the wall when she opened, like, so on the scene where the door opens on the left side, you can see Willow, you can see Weiss, Winter, and Whitley. God, it's so hard to just say their names, like, off the tongue, because I have to, like, actively think, because they all have alliteration, so it's, like, super hard to just say a name. Like, I'm saying Willow when I mean Whitley, and I'm saying Weiss when I mean Winter, so, yeah, that's pretty annoying. But yeah, I really like the animation they use for the Hound right here. So, like, again, this whole thing, his transformations, he transformed from the winged to the two-armed, like to the two-legged, and now he's like on all 4s. I just really like the Hound, and even though the Hound is gone, I don't think the Hound is gone necessarily, if you know what I mean. Another thing too, so I just liked the animation of like how the Hound was like crawling on the floor. I just think that's just a very like eerie, like almost like grudge-like way of maneuvering, you know? And yeah, they also referenced the fact that Willow was able to see the situation because last volume she told Weiss that she installed cameras in every room of the house because, you know, for evidence, for, you know, in case she ever needed like a way of protection based on how, you know, Jacques behaves or whatever, whether he's physically abusive, verbally abusive, whatever the case might be. And also it kind of backfired on him because that Willow low-key was the reason why Jacques is no longer in the house, because, you know, he was colluding with Watts. And if it wasn't for her putting cameras in the house, that never would have been discovered, you know, because he was playing it up the entire time. So I like how she was like assisting her daughter. She's like, above you. And I'm like, oh shit, that's right. Cameras in every room. So I really liked that. I wonder how she got the cameras installed and when she got them installed. And because she clearly got them installed when Jacques wasn't paying attention or he wasn't around or something. So so yeah, I just really liked this entire sequence here. Let's see what else we got over here. Yeah, so this part was where I was like, oh shit, makes a whole lot of sense now. Yo, imagine I will say this though. If it was with RWBY, it probably would have been serendipitous that things worked out. But imagine Salem's reaction if the Hound was like, take the girl, and he's going solely off of the scent of the person that he's like hunting down, and he hunted down Whitley and brought Whitley back to Salem because of, like, imagine Salem's reaction if that shit happened. She probably would have killed it right then and there on the spot. She was like, okay, another failed experiment. I asked you to bring me the fucking Winter Maiden. You bring me this freaking prepubescent, like, white-haired kid. I just wondered that. I was like, what would she have done, though? Because it makes sense why he was getting his wires crossed. Because, number one, the Hound is blind, so it can't see. And second of all, you know, RWBY at first had the, you know, they all had, Penny's, like leakage on her, so like I guess they were giving off Penny's scent. And so he was getting the wrong person each time, and then it was just like, okay, third time's the charm. It's clearly that girl over there, so let me go and get that girl over there. So, so yeah, I just wondered, I was just like, what would she have done? Like, I'd be fucking pissed. But here's the thing, that's why I said RWBY might have been an exception, because she wanted Tyrion to go and get RWBY back in Volume 4. So if the Hound brought her back a silver-eyed warrior that was responsible for what happened to Cinder, I feel like she'd still be pissed off, but at the very least, that's a consolation prize. It's like, okay, you screwed up, but I'm not gonna be that mad because this is still kind of an asset. So, so yeah, Salem has white hair. I mean, she's got white hair now, but she's naturally a blonde. But yeah, let's just go with green blood. Yeah, I didn't know what to call it. I was like, it's not blood, but she also has like a leak because like one of the valves in her anatomy is just severed. So, yeah. What was Salem's plan for RWBY? We'll get into that. There's a lot to talk about. There's still so much more to talk about, dude. We're not even there yet. We're not even done yet. Holy shit, there's so much to talk about with that. But yeah, so okay, so really quick, again, I just want to emphasize again the horror vibes, the horror element and aspect of this episode. And again, I now know that Miles wrote the episode, and I gave credit to that, similar to you know, Brunswick Farms arc, because that was very horror driven and, you know, reminiscent of like a horror movie vibe. And so this scene reminded me of that too. It's like, okay, like obviously Whitley's trying to do his thing. He's still got a chip on his shoulder about his mom. He's not trying to hear her out. He's not trying to like, you know, be cordial or anything like that. And he's just like, yeah, you're the last person I need right now. What do you want? Oh shit, there's a Grimm here. I'm fucking dead, you know? And so Willow, mother instincts got to kick in at this point. Your kid's about to get killed. And so I really like how the one thing that was a little like, Whitley is so lucky that this Grimm is blind. I was so pissed off that Whitley decided, let me look over to the side. Like, bro, like, what if the Grimm wasn't blind? You would have just given yourself up, dude. Like, I was like, oh my god, don't look over to the side. And then as the Grimm, so, like, the table, let's just say this is the table, like, this is the desk. So, like, he's on this side, the Grimm's on this side. I was like, okay, as the Grimm comes in over here, like, you're right here. So as the Grimm comes in, go around so when it comes around to look, you're not there. But he just stood there. And I get he's a little kid, but it's like, come on, dude. He's not the brightest. I mean, he thought on his feet, like, bro, let's use our fucking business tactics and send a bunch of shipments and a bunch of orders to the CCT, to the subsidiaries to get those cargo ships going so we can save all the people down in Mantle. Thought about that on his feet, by himself, no one around. So maybe he's just more business oriented. How's that? He's not very survival oriented because he was about to be freaking dog food. Oh, I also liked how the Grimm was like, I know you're here. I was like, bro, I could not be more terrified that this thing is... I'm surprised Whitley wasn't just like, is that Grimm fucking talking, dude? Like, what? I know he's probably never seen a Grimm in his life, most likely, but like, I was losing my shit. I was like, this Grimm is like actively taunting you because it knows you're hiding. Oh, man. Yeah, oh, it was so good. I love the little details of him bumping into the table, just a little flavor of him being blind. Yeah, he banged into the chess table. Also, the chessboard is a little different than it was last time. So I keep wondering, like, I'm just like, damn, I wish I was well informed in chess itself, because I wonder if there's just like if there's just some symbolism there with the chess pieces and the way that they're positioned, and if that's indicative of any potential plays that Salem can do or Ironwood can do, you know what I mean? Like anything like that. I just really wish that I was, because like some people have done that, and I think that's really fascinating. I don't know if there was checkmate on the board or what, but I really like that. I saw that Twitter someone did. Yeah. The Black Queen is winning, trust me. Yeah. First time Whitley seeing a Grim in person, it's talking. It talks. I'm shitting myself. Yeah. Honestly, Whitley took it very well. Like, bro, this Grim is talking. Like, what? But yeah. I was losing my mind, and I heard this Grim talk like a bunch of episodes ago. I'm like, oh my god, this thing is like super intelligent. But yeah, Mama Schnee can summon. She summoned in a Borbatusk, an Alpha Borbatusk. You can tell by the amount of bones and just it's a massive like freaking it's almost like a mammoth Grim at this point, like a Goliath. But no, it's just a chunky Borbatusk. Like mother like daughter, I guess, right? Like one of Weiss's first kills of Grim at Beacon was a Borbatusk. So I think that'd be a really cool parallel if Willow's first experience, like if that's the first Grim she ever killed, but as years have gone on, as she's gotten older, you know what I mean? Like I think like Weiss's is like the knight. So I wonder if that's like Willow's signature Grim is just like an alpha Borbatusk. Also, I like the little extra moment of Whitley being like, oh shit, I gotta confirm my Amazon order before I leave. So he literally just turns around and goes back and pushes the button. 'Cause otherwise, this whole thing would have been pointless, you know? So I just like that he just was like, oh shit, hold on, let me do this real quick. Okay, let's get the fuck out of here before we die. Well, yeah. I didn't realize that was Willow's summon. How am I that dumb? I mean, some people were just like, well, where did it come? Because we didn't see her summon, so we don't know how she went about summoning it. You know, does she just like snap her fingers and it manifests? You know, Weiss has like you know, or maybe she just like summons the glyph in her hand and it just manifests like what Winter did in Volume 3. Because like Weiss, 9 times out of 10, Weiss's summons have to do with like her sword. Like she sticks the sword in the ground and then it forms, you know what I mean? So I don't know her form of how she goes about summoning. But yeah, we just see the Grim already like barreling in the room, and then the mother's like, run, get out of there. So you know, the only other logical conclusion is that, yeah, that was her. But yeah, agrees to the terms of service. Nobody does that, all right? No one reads terms of service. No one reads the terms of agreement, whatever the hell they're called nowadays, the EULA, the freaking, I don't know, you could be signing your fucking life away and people are just like, I don't care, I just want to use the service. Some people do that, like people who actually like have time for that shit. But yeah, he was just like, I own the company, damn it. I am the terms and conditions. But yeah, yeah. So this is the scene that I was really like peeved by. You got Whitley, Willow, and Winter having some of the best moments of like family bonding and togetherness, and this is going to pay out so much for them once this is all settled, because this is going to make them so much closer and realize like petty bullshit doesn't matter as much as the family matters, the mother, the sister, the brother, etc. And I'm just like, where is this for Winter, man? Winter was here last volume. Klein wasn't here. Mama Schnee had one appearance. Jacques was being a dick. Whitley wasn't even acknowledging her existence. And to be honest, Winter didn't even seem like she wanted to be there. And so I'm just like, bro, like, you're telling me the rest of the Schnee family is fine? Like, no one there is just like, damn, man, I wish Winter was here. You know what I mean? Like, I just wish Winter had... I know it's probably already too late for Winter, and Weiss isn't going to stick around, right? So this is at least good for her to at least establish some type of rapport with her family. And like, this is ultimately going to matter for Whitley, right? Because he's the one that still needs a parent, like a parental figure in his life to help him make the right decisions and to, you know, reinforce good behaviors and stuff like that. So like Winter, it's not like Winter needs a family at this point. You know, she's already made her decisions. She's grown enough to be able to kind of take charge of her own life and her own destiny and her own choices and all that. But it still would be nice to, it still would just be nice. Like, how do you interact with your brother? How do you interact with your mom? How do you interact with Klein? We all know that you can't stand your dad, and we all know you have a really good relationship with your sister. So it's just a little, I don't know, it's just like, I wish we could have gotten something of that, or at least hear how she talks about them, right? Because to her, it's like, out of sight, out of mind. They don't exist to me if they're not around. So, and like, obviously, her emotions are all out of whack, so she probably feels super conflicted about her upbringings, or, you know, and I can easily understand that. I feel about that sometimes too. Like, I don't know if anyone else does this or thinks like this, but I'm an adult, right? I'm a grown man, and every so often I get upset about things that happened in my childhood that happened years ago, decades ago, and I'm just like why? Like, it still affects me, even though there's like no semblance of any of that taking part. Like, there's no lingering effects of anything that happened to me in my childhood, but I still think about like that. I don't know, I felt robbed at some points. Like, some points I feel like I'm like, damn, I wish that didn't happen to me, or I wish I wish my life was a little bit different in this department or in this aspect or whatever. And so I wonder if like maybe that's how she feels. It's like, well, I can't change the past, but I wish the past was a little different because I think on that, and that affects me in that way, you know? So, so yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing for her. And closure is a big thing too. I can't tell you how many times I've had that feeling of not knowing, or having situations that happened in the past when I was a kid or a teenager, that when I was a lot older as an adult and I had perspective and I had responsibilities and I had a little bit of a taste of what it was like to be an adult, it put into perspective a lot of the things that my parents or my guardians went through. And as an adult, I was actually able to like see them eye to eye and have a mature conversation about, you know, how things went at this point in my life or this point in my life, and you know, be able to have that mature conversation. So yeah, I definitely understand how Winter could be. I mean, not exactly, but like I think I can empathize with how she compartmentalizes the life that she had, the life that she has now, and, you know, goes back and forth with those feelings sometimes. They mentioned Winter's old room, so her room is still there too, right? Like Willow's like, oh, it's near Winter's old room, and I'm like, imagine her room is just like filled with like stuffed animal. Like, I mean, I think her room would be very bland and very strict and very up to code. No bunk beds, like all that type of shit. Like, you know, they have to be up to her personal standards, like all that stuff. So yeah, I just think that, like as an, like, God, man, like just thinking about the past, it's, I don't know, it can be painful sometimes, and maybe you don't want to face the fact that no matter how you feel about the past, you can't change it. And that's kind of like, it's like a rob, like you feel like you almost feel like you were robbed. I feel like that every so often, because it's kind of like, but at the same time, I think to myself, like I genuinely think this, I'm like, all of those feelings and all of those moments in my life where I feel like I got the short end of the stick, or I wasn't treated fairly, or, you know, parts of my life were just really shitty. I just use it as a blueprint of like, okay, well then, when I have kids, you know, it's easier said than done, but it takes an effort to not be like how your parents were, or how, you know, do things that you didn't approve of as a kid to like keep the kids that you're bringing up, you know, and raising. So yeah, I mean, it's just a constant struggle. It's just a point of putting in the effort and making the effort. And I just hope that nothing happens to Winter where she can hopefully get that second chance, or get that moment, or get that time to reconcile with her family, besides just her sister. Because, you know, she has a mom, she has a brother, she has Klein, and, you know, it's not, you know, she has things, but she also has things to protect. So if she goes out in this war, maybe, you know, she goes out on her own terms. Maybe that's what she ultimately would want. But yeah, that's my little soapbox speech right there. Sorry to go off on a beaten path. But yeah, anyways, yeah, ultimately, I wish that Winter had a moment like this with her family. Like, just a moment that's gonna help make things better in the future. But yeah, anyways, also, yeah, shipping order confirmed. They got all of those shipping crates, and they're making moves to help out the people in, I really hope these shipping crates get here. Or these I don't know if they said shipping crates or if they're like these, like the ships in general. But like, yeah, like I feel like people need to get out of Mantle, because if Atlas falls on Mantle, those people are fucked, and everyone's gonna feel the effects of that, you know. PS5 order confirmed. Yeah, orders received. Orders given, orders received. But yeah, Blake, it's like, they had us in the first half. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like, I was holding up against the Hound. That was pretty okay. I took a little bit of, you know, I took my lumps in that fight. I thought, you know, I'm good now. I'm good in this. Like, no, Blake, you got absolutely like thrashed in the second half. You know, she was like dodging more than she was actually, you know, putting in any type of work, and she got wrecked with one of her own freaking clones. But yeah, Alana Pierce was the voice of the Terminal? Really? Ah, man, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I was so blown away by the freaking, by the Hound, like the credit at the end of the episode for like the Hound, the concept art, that I didn't even look at the voice lines. I didn't even look at voice credits this episode. Oh, actually, that's a lie. I did, because the Hound was talking. It was Jason Liebrecht who did the voice of the Hound, which is the voice of Crow. So yeah. Why did Miles do this to Blake? Because, I don't know. Because this is like a brand new Grimm she's fighting for the first time. I don't know if she can deal with it on her own. Alana Pierce voiced in RWBY? Yeah, apparently. That's super cool. But yeah, that scene right there where she like put up her blades are super thin, and this Grimm's coming down with like the point of like the sickle, like its sickle claws. So like Blake defending with such a thin blade was such a risky call, like a risky move, because like what if the blades didn't contact with the freaking sickles? That thing would have just went straight through her face. I was like, oh my god, like what the heck? But yeah, it's weird rewatching season 2 and seeing them take hits from the big mech, like the Paladin from rocket punches, but then seeing their aura go down in like 2 hits. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the earlier volumes, like the fights were just more entertaining than, I also don't think, let me think about that actually. I don't really think they emphasized like aura breaking that much until like volume 3. Like, I think one of the first times we saw aura break was with Yang and Mercury in the Vital Festival tournament. I think that's the first time we actually saw like aura being physically present. You also have to understand too that aura is active. So like, you know, like if they get hit, also her aura didn't break. Blake's aura didn't break right there. It just took a big hit. So I mean, you know, they're getting hit, but that, you know, I mean, like they're still feeling all that shit that's happening. And Blake just got like tossed around by the Hound not too long ago. But like a 1v1 situation right here, it's nothing shameful to be like, hey, I need my teammate. Blake's not exactly Blake's not exactly like the DPS of the team, you know. She's kind of like an assassin rogue type. And I remember Monty mentioning that like everyone in RWBY, like Team RWBY is kind of like orchestrated like an RPG, right? Like Yang is the damage dealer, Weiss is the assist, Blake is like the rogue assassin, and I forgot what he said about RWBY. I don't remember what he said about RWBY, but yeah, like that was his like ideal way of structuring the team. It's like one person excels in this area, but they're terrible in this area. And so yeah, Blake is best with chip damage. Yeah, like you could see like she's doing shots and stuff like that. She's trying like, but I don't think Blake does really well at like close quarters combat. And that's what she was doing right here too. And the Grim was just like, who the fuck you think I am? You know? Yeah, Yang is the tank. Yang is like a tank DPS because Yang can take damage, but tanks usually don't take damage. Tanks just tank. Tanks don't usually take damage. Tanks usually tank damage. Say that freaking 5 times fast. But yeah, like, but the thing is, Yang's semblance works like I take the hit and I dish it back to you. So like Yang is both defense and offense. Yeah, I guess a bruiser is the best way to explain that, like in like MMO terms. But yeah, yeah, Blake's not a damage dealer. Like Blake's not gonna hit is the same way that Yang hits. So Blake be hitting kind of different. Yeah. But yeah, and like Weiss was pretty much a support until she summoned. Now Weiss is like a jack of all trades, master of like most of them, you know? Like before her summon, she was really only supporting her team. Time dilation, remember that? Glyphs, right? The like the white glyphs, the black glyphs, time dilation, you know, obviously using a lot of dust manipulation as well, like ice walls, earth walls, fire, you know, fire blasts and shit like that. She's like a mage. So yeah. Blake is duelist, at least she was in volume 1. Yeah, but I don't really see, like, I feel like volume 1 was just like, wait, volume 1? Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you then. Things have to change, you know? They got to be more consistent with things as the show goes on. And I think volume 1, you know, you also have to think volume 1 aura was passive. You know what I mean? But we can't apply like, oh, well, how about their aura in volume 1 when now it's established and understood that aura is an active effect. So, you know, they were learning as they were going too, so I'm not going to hold them like for volume 1 stuff, you know. Then again, I'm not a critic, so who am I to, who gives a shit what I hold them to? I've enjoyed the show since I started it, so I don't really think it's all that, yeah. Anyways, let us continue on over here. So yeah, so eventually, Talk no Jutsu doesn't work. That shit works in Naruto, that doesn't work in RWBY. Alright? Nakama power, that shit works in anime. That doesn't work in RWBY. You know? So, unfortunately, Nora's words of encouragement didn't supersede the work of technology of one of the smartest people in Remnant. And, you know, Penny basically got fully taken over. And she also like stiff-armed. I feel so bad for Klein. Like he got I was like, yo, she should be a freaking football player. She's just like stiff-arming everybody. I thought Klein was gonna go way further with that stiff arm. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, leave my boy alone. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt really bad. I was like, damn, dude, like Klein just got freaking wrecked. But yeah. So the hacked Penny basically says, I must open the vault and then self-terminate. Now, here's the thing. And I guess this is where we can get into, like, I don't know, just some talks about Penny, I guess. But, I had a conversation about this topic in the Discord. And it was mainly because of the fact that, like, is this a self-termination? Is she declaring that she's going to self-terminate because, you know, that's what she's going to do? Like, she's going to destroy herself? Or did Ironwood implement a self-destruct protocol sequence, whatever, like a self-terminate function within her if things were to get that bad? You know what I mean? And so like Watts is exploiting that now. That's interesting. I can see it being both, but I also can see it being one or the other, you know, based on what Watts wants out of it, which is he wants to get the vault and he wants no way of it going back into, he wants to get the relic and have no chance of it going back in the vault. I can also see how Ironwood would want to be super cautious of like, okay, I have Penny under my control, but if worse comes to worse and she's under the enemy's influence, there's a way for me to like push this shiny red button and unfortunately destroy Pietro's daughter. You know, if that can hopefully protect us from like her as a threat, because she's literally like Atlas's biggest bargaining chip. She's literally their trump card. So I could definitely see that. If she self-terminates before Cinder arrives, would she lose the so that's the that's the topic I wanted to bring up, D'Anthony. So if this is a directive from Watts, it makes sense, right? It's like, okay, Penny is the winter. So if this was a directive from Watts, Watts would have to think, okay, I currently have control of the Winter Maiden. I need her to get to wherever the vault is, open the vault, and then I need her to self-destruct. And by her self-destructing, the Maiden power will go to somebody else, and there'll be no time for them to find the Maiden, bring them back to Atlas, and lock the vault back up with the relic in it. So that was my initial thing. And then I was like, well, what happens to the magic? You know what I mean? Like, if Penny is destroyed, like, she's a robot, so how far do you have to go with destroying her? Do you have to, like, destroy her core? Do you have to disassemble her? You know, is the magic located in some you know what I mean? Like, I think you would have to destroy her core, because that is her life essence. You know, Pietro even mentioned it too. It's like, I can't bring her back after this. So I think that's what Watts is trying to do. You know, and the red eyes kind of gives that off. Like, it wouldn't make sense for her to be like, I must self-terminate because that is my programming, but then be like, I have to find the vault. Like, clearly you have to find the vault because that's what the enemy wants. So it only makes sense that the enemies want you to find the vault, open it, and then blow yourself up, or however, dismantle yourself. I don't know what self-terminate means. That can mean anything. But basically, take yourself out, and there's no way of recuperating any of that loss. And Ironwood also loses his biggest asset. It's strange though that they want her to open the vault and then self-terminate, because if I was Watts or if I was Salem, I'd be like, open the vault and then kill everybody. I'd literally just be like, open the vault and then go and kill any civilians, Atlesian personnel, like go attack their military base, go attack the academy. Like, I would just turn Penny against the people. You know, I would literally just do that, and then it would have to come down to maybe even Pietro having to make the call to take out Penny if she's unable, you know, if they're unable to get her under their control. You know, because Penny's just like a massive asset. Like, she can easily just do a ton of damage. So it's just odd to me that they just want her for the vault. But maybe maybe having the staff is all that matters. Maybe Penny is insignificant as an asset when you have the power of creation at your fingertips, you know? I don't know if Salem knows how to use the relics, right? Because in the fairy tale, right, in the Lost Fable, like, he told her about the relics, but she doesn't even know how to, like, use them. And so that one lifetime when Ozpin was like, where are the relics? What powers do they possess? How do I destroy Salem? So when he was like, what powers do they possess? I think he knows how they work, but it's going to be like a learning experience for her. And who knows how the hell that's going to happen, or what's going to happen from that. Yeah, she had to ask how to use the lamp, but like, well, no, she had to ask the password for the lamp, but she knows how the lamp works, I think. Or if she doesn't, Jin's going to come through the vault and explain it to her, or come out of the lamp and tell her anyway. She's like, I can ask 3 questions once every 100 years. I currently have 1 question remaining in this lifetime. So, you know, she's going to give Salem the same talk that she gave the others. I wonder if there's going to be any type of interaction between Jin and Salem, right? Because when Salem first saw Oscar, she was like, oh, it's a pleasure to see you again, old man. So clearly she had a run-in with him. Obviously she didn't with Salem, but like just looking at someone like Salem and being like, yeah, I don't know if I should ask you this. I don't know if I should give you the answer, because like these people need help. And you look like you, I don't know. It's like, oh, my master told me about, the god of light told me all about you when he made me. You know what I mean? Like, what if she already knows about Salem? Based on, like, the god of light creating her? But yeah, imagine Jin denying Salem a question. Imagine, right? Because, like, why would the gods do that? Why would the gods make these things that Salem could basically... That's just making worse of a situation. You know, you guys made her who she is now. I mean, literally, right? You made her immortal. You left your Grim pools around. You left your Grim around. So she just took all your toys and now she's using them however they want. So it's even crazier to me that you would make these 4 relics and also have them be within the grounds of Salem being able to utilize them however she wants. It's one thing if she wants to collect all 4 of them to bring the gods back, but to have her be able to use them too would be pretty fucking ridiculous. Because then she would have the influence of the god of darkness with the Grim and the pools and all that stuff, and the god of light with the relics, and the god of light with the silver-eyed warriors that she's going around and apparently getting under her control. So, like, she's a goddess herself at this point. But yeah, the gods are pretty stupid, dude. Like, you're not a god. You're just a, I don't know. You're just a stupid man with horns on your head. All right. But yeah. Also, it was a pretty badass that the freaking hound was like it was literally going toe to toe with Penny. It was like 1-to-1 with Penny. And it's so weird right here too, because again, Penny's hacked, but the hound doesn't know the difference. He's just like, you're my target, let's go. Break, break, break. Okay, you're knocked out. Okay, now let's go. And they're like toe to toe. And then he grows a fucking 3rd arm out of his back and just grabs her. I'm just like, what can't this hound do? It can talk, it can shapeshift, it can grow extra limbs, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I just thought, I was like, what the hell? Like, anything for the occasion. It's just like, it's the definition of adaptability. It's like, damn, this girl's going toe to toe, like hand to hand. Time to grow a 3rd hand and a 3rd arm and help me out. You know, take the girl. And it's interesting that that's the line. Maybe that's Salem's orders. Maybe Salem was like, take the girl. And like, that's like the law. That's like its programmed, like, derivative. Like, that's what it's meant to go for, you know, maybe. But yeah, Penny comes through. I mean, RWBY and the gang, like, collect themselves. Penny's finally back under their custody. RWBY uses her silver eyes, blasts that shit out the window. I was expecting it to come back in. I was like, there's no way. I was like, wait, that scene, like, they were looking up from, like, the angle from them up the stairs. I'm like, okay, the camera is slowly zooming into that window. So yeah, the Grim's not dead yet. But I was not expecting this fucking thing to come out and, like, start talking. Like, someone's, like, they freaking pulled the freaking wig. Like, they just pulled it back. They pulled the veil back. They revealed what the big secret was. Like, what is this Grim? What, like, it's a person. And not just a person, a faunus. And not just a faunus, a silver-eyed faunus. And I'm like, excuse me? Like, is this what we're doing now? Is this what we're doing to Silver Eyes? Like, and so over the last week, I've had so many conversations about this Grim, about what this means for like the Grim that we could potentially see in the future, even though the Hound is destroyed, it's no longer around. But the first thing that I thought of was, this is why this is why Salem wanted RWBY. Also, I don't know if anyone else can relate. I don't know if anyone else can relate to this right here. But I literally thought this was Adam at first. Like, when I first saw him, like, come out, so, like, right there. So, the reason I thought this was Adam was because it's dark outside, so I thought his hair looked, it's like brown right here, but I thought because it was dark, maybe it was a little bit more red. The ears literally look like horns because the fur of the ears like blends in with the hair. So all I saw was like the white. So I was like, oh, those are his horns. And then I was like, in my mind, like, obviously I'm losing my shit right now, so I'm not thinking as clearly. And I was like, and he has one eye, so his other eye's branded. It's I obviously didn't pop. I was like, is that Adam? Like, I was more questioning it because I was like, what the fuck? Did she really find him out there in the water and resuscitate him and turn him into a Grim? And then people on Twitter are like, bro, his hair's not red, he doesn't have the brand, and he has silver eyes. And I'm just like, and he has ears. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Obviously, I know it's not Adam, but like in that moment, those discrepancies were very blurred because I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like losing my goddamn mind. I'm like, who is this? What is this? Like, this has to be important. This is a big reveal. But I was like, if it's not Adam, then like, what's the significance? So I immediately rewind. I took that shit back. And I was like, oh my God, this man has silver eyes. And now what this means is that and then it all just started connecting. I was like, okay, so this is why Summer didn't want Tyrion to kill RWBY in Volume 4. He was like, find the person that did this to Cinder and bring them to me. And everyone's like, wait a minute. If Silver Eyes are such a threat, why do you want RWBY alive? Wouldn't you want to just get rid of them altogether, right? In the previous generation, right, you had Maria, young, spry, silver-eyed warrior, but you had someone like Talk, who's confirmed to have been recruited by Salem, find Maria and want to kill her, and Talk said it herself. She's like, the only reason my master wants you dead is because of your eyes. So, initially, in the past, Silver Eyes were such a threat to Salem that Salem said to herself, I would rather just kill this gift from the God of Light off. I would just kill them all. But you can't kill off a bloodline like that. They're always going to find their way back. They're always going to be present. They're just going to be very ignorant to the powers and capabilities that they have before them. Right? You'll have a silver-eyed warrior that doesn't even know what they possess. Like someone like RWBY, her eyes just activated, in response to like her innate desire to protect life, to protect her friends, and then they end up becoming a target. So you had someone like Maria in the past who like lost her eyes but managed to get out alive. But like, how about all the other silver-eyed warriors out there? At what point between Maria losing her eyes and the present event or the present day did Salem say to herself, okay, I have a different plan. I'm going to take and you know what? Remember how I was like, when when Watts was like, oh, you know what they say, if you can't beat them, then make them join you. And I was like, Watts, you fucking just made that shit up. No one says that. It's if you can't beat them, join them. I wouldn't be surprised if Salem iterated that and Watts adopted it, right? If you can't beat the silver-eyed warriors, make the silver-eyed warriors join you. And how do you do that? You turn them into Grim. And now, here's where we get into the really fascinating stuff. Because when you look at this guy, right? When you look at him, and I'm going to pull up the concept right here just so I can emphasize this. When you look at this guy, first off, he looks like horrendous. You can see like his muscle tissue, his face is all like deteriorated, like some little like abomination mutation type shit that's going on. You see the black ooze that's coming out of his eyes. You see it coming out of his ears. You see it coming out of like his muscle orifices and all that. So what this is telling me is that the Hound is a living thing. This man wasn't the Hound. The Hound, okay, you know how you should think about the Hound? Think of the Hound like Venom. Think of it like the black, like Spidey mask, like the black Spidey suit. Think of it like a parasite that engulfs its host and it adopts some form of control over its host, right? That's the whole point. It's not symbiotic, it's parasitic. And so this guy has no agency. This guy has no control over himself. What the hound is, I don't even know if I should call it a hound, because it's like, that's why I think, like, you see it's liquefied. You always see the Grim in like a solid yet liquefied state, because it's like, and it's ever changing and it's ever morphing to fit the situation. The only thing is, it's using the silver-eyed person as a host to be able to have a sense of, like, I guess a sense of mass, or a sense of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just using him as a host to kind of do it whatever it wants. Now, what I want to know... Oh, it's a symbiote. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, it's called a symbiote. Okay. Isn't that what What's-His-Face was too? Carnage? Like, now I'm getting into, like, Marvel and Spider-Man and all that shit, right? With, like, Carnage and fucking Venom and all that stuff. What's the relationship when it's beneficial, right? Because symbiotic, like, parasitic is, like, when it's negative. And then there's one when it's positive. Oh, I didn't know that Carnage was Venom's son. I had no fucking clue about that. I just know about Carnage because I played Spider-Man 1 for the PlayStation 1 when I was like a kid. And I saw Carnage and I was like, yo, he's super fucking cool looking. Symbiote is positive. Yeah, but this isn't beneficial. Like, this isn't beneficial to the host. Because what's happening right here is like... So here's what I think is happening. I think the reason why this guy isn't dead is because Silver Eyes are like a natural repellent, I guess I would say, against the Grim. So, like, they're the natural adversary to the Grim. So Silver-Eyed warriors are able to undergo, like, I guess, I don't know what to call this. I don't want to call it a hound. So I guess the parasitic Grim is able to engulf a silver-eyed warrior and utilize it for its body mass, utilize it for its intelligence, and be able to siphon everything off of a silver-eyed warrior without killing it, because the eyes are what's keeping them alive. I think, I don't know, because this is, like, I think the fact that it's happening with someone with silver eyes is telling me that this is a very recent development. It could be a very recent development, like in recent years. Or within this generation, right? And now you have to ask yourself, what happened to Summer really then? Because she left on a mission and never came back. And in my mind, I'm thinking of like some Hunter x Hunter shit, right? With the Kurta clan and their eyes, and the fact that there were people that would kill these people because their eyes were such rare commodity, like their eyes were considered valuable and precious. So you had these people that would kill off this entire clan and like harvest them for their eyes because they were, you know, they were seen as like this priceless item, and like just store them away. And I wonder if Salem is doing that. I wonder if she has like her own silver-eyed warrior museum of sorts. And this guy was just a recent test subject that's going along really well. And we're all like, oh man, I can't believe they killed the Hound. How could they do that? It was such a good like evolution in Grim, and now it's gone and we're gonna go back to these basic bitch Grim. Like, no, I think there's gonna be more Grim like this based on how much of a reserve Salem has of other silver-eyed warriors. We also have to ask ourselves, where the fuck is this guy from? Like, who was he? When did Salem find him? When did Salem like recruit him, or like, I guess, utilize him, or I guess capture him, I should say? Because like, is Salem able to preserve silver-eyed warriors through some method where they don't age, or they don't die, or they don't, yeah, because like, if Summer Rose is alive, let's just say, I'm not going to say alive, but let's say she utilized Summer as like one of these kind of Grim. Because remember I mentioned in the opening, if you go back to the Volume 8 opening, there's a scene where like, you know, Salem is like overlooking Oscar, and you see 6 pair of eyes or 7 pair of eyes. And I remember saying during my intro breakdown, I was like, imagine these Grim are like Salem's lieutenants. And then when we saw the Hound, I was like, okay, well, what if one of these Grim is the Hound, like one of 7 Hound level Grim? But now we can go a step further in saying it would make sense if she has very few of these Grim, because Silver Eyes is extremely rare. It's not a very common thing. So I don't expect her to have like 20, 30, 50, 100 silver eyes just chilling, waiting to be used. And this is kind of like the equivalent, or not the equivalent. This is the reverse of what's happening with Cinder, right? So you look at this guy who's a silver-eyed warrior who's being influenced by a parasitic like Grimm. But then on the flip side, another experiment that Salem is doing is that she's taking someone who's human and imbuing them with Grimm. So like, you know, the Grimm arm, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's going to try to find a way of utilizing like a fully controlled being. And I am going to backpack really quick off of something that Kalaxan mentioned in her discussion and theory of the Hound that I thought that was very interesting. So remember Tyrion mentioned in volume 4 an eye for an eye, right? Cinder lost her eye to RWBY. And everyone's been saying, when's RWBY going to lose her eye? I feel like that's something that could happen. You know, why would Tyrion say something like that? There's a lot of people that are subscribed to this idea that something or someone, right? Maria lost her eyes, whatever. And some people are thinking like, this guy is also like branded on one side of his face. So like, what happened to his other eye? Did Salem take it? And now we're going to get into some like kind of ridiculousness when it comes to like anime logic. I'm going to go into some Naruto realm right now. So in Naruto, the Sharingan is the most broken thing in the entire show. If you're an Uchiha, you're busted. If you have the Sharingan, you're ridiculous. And the Sharingan are like, almost anyone can use it. You can literally take my eye out, pop my eye out, stick it into somebody else's socket, and it's gonna work immediately. Like no surgery, no compatibility issue. It just, like in the words of fucking Todd Howard, it just works, right? It just works. So Kalaxan put forth the idea of what if in order for this grimmification to work out, you need to have silver eyes to combat the Grimm essence, so it doesn't like kill you or whatever. If that's a stipulation, what if she took the eye of this guy and she takes like the disfigured eye of Cinder and gives her the silver eye instead? And eventually that Grimm will take over her completely, but she won't lose herself altogether, but just enough to where if Salem says jump, Cinder will say how high, and we'll go about it that way. There's a lot of implications here. There's a lot that I'm just gonna say this right now. Moving forward, I'm under the assumption that every other Hound level Grimm that we see, there's a silver-eyed warrior underneath it. And I need to show you guys something, because this is gonna be like the nail in the fucking coffin. Y'all need to prepare yourselves, okay? Because this is fucking huge, dude. This is huge. I completely forgot to prep this for the stream. Completely forgot to prep this for the stream, but I think it's important all the same. So this is what I think we're building up to. People have been saying RWBY is too optimistic. She hasn't gone through like the strife or the development that people are expecting of her, especially because for the most part, she's taken everything on the chin. She's remained optimistic and she's remained optimistic through and through, regardless of what's happened. And people need her to be taken down a peg or two or three even. And so I think what is going to happen, I'm going to switch my, my image right here. Forgive me. I need to go in here. Say hi, chat. You guys can see yourselves. I'm going to go in here, and I think this is what's going to happen. I don't know if you guys can see this properly. I think this is what's going to happen. I think RWBY is going to use her silver eyes on a Hound level Grimm, and she's going to see her mom underneath. I don't know when, but I'm pretty sure that's going to explain to everybody how Salem knew about Summer Rose. She mentioned to RWBY that your mom said the same thing to me and she failed. And after blasting a Grimm with her own silver eyes, revealing a person underneath, I feel like if RWBY harnesses her power and does this again, the next time it's going to be her mom that she sees, and that's going to just fucking destroy her. So yeah, shout out again to Sombrella for this amazing edit. Like I was like, I have to showcase this. I have to feature and let people know about, because this is like what I think a lot of us are coming to the conclusion of, right? Like the fact that Summer's been gone, no one knows what happened to her. There was no body found. It's just a grave at the cliffside. And yeah, she left on a mission one day, never came back. Nobody knows what happened to her. And now that we have some evidence that Silver Eyes are actually a commodity to Salem, it begs the question of, did Summer get captured and utilized in this way? She had Silver Eyes. She went on this mission for Ozpin. It didn't pan out. And maybe Ozpin doesn't even know that this is possible, right? Like, maybe Oz doesn't even know that Silver Eyes are being utilized in this way. Because even Crow was like, oh, one day, you know what I mean? Like, Ozpin was just as confused as the rest of us. Like, this was a Summer secret. I don't really know if it's safe to say a Summer secret, you know, because that's what Crow said. He was like, oh, this one was a Summer secret that, you know, we don't know what happened to her. But how much, we don't know what Oz knew or what Oz didn't know either. So, but Oz didn't know what happened to her when she didn't come back. So maybe this is a recent development that Salem's like, oh, you know, I'm experimenting, I'm lab testing, I'm figuring shit out. And again, like Watt said, if you can't beat them, make them join you. Make the Silver Eyes your enemy. I mean, make the Silver Eyes your weapon. And yeah, it's pretty fucking morbid. I'll be honest. But yeah, this is kind of like where we're at right now with the capabilities and the potential of Salem, her forces, and everything else in between. One thing that I do want to do really quick for any of you guys who are still in here is I do want to inform you guys on this, because some people are still unaware, and I don't want to assume that everybody knows, because some people don't know. Some people probably don't know that this has been confirmed, but there is a definitive way for you to identify Silver Eyes as opposed to eyes that look like they're silver, right? Like Mercury's eyes or Ilia's eyes or whatever. There is a definitive way to distinguish Silver Eyes and knowing for certain, you know, that someone has them. So this was confirmed in volume 6, I believe. However, there were some people that made theories about it before Carrie ended up confirming it. But if you notice, Silver Eyes are Silver Eyes. Obviously, they need to be the color silver, but because there's so many different opaques and gradients, that one eye can be gray and one eye can be silver, and you classify it that way. There are these tick marks, like these little ticks that are in the eye. There's 2 on one side and there's 3 on the other side. Usually, like not even usually, always, if it's a silver-eyed warrior or someone with silver eyes, if they do not have these ticks in their eyes, it's not silver. So you see RWBY here. I even highlighted them I circled them in red. So those tick marks indicate that RWBY's a silver-eyed warrior. Let's go up a notch. The Hound has the tick marks. It's one eye, but it's, you know, it's the tick marks nonetheless. So there's that. You go to Summer Rose's eyes. This is the Summer Rose feature from the Volume 6 finale. She has the tick marks, so Silver Eyes confirmed. You go to Maria's eyes from the Volume 6 fight with Talk. She has the tick marks. Silver Eyes confirmed. This is going to probably surprise some of you if you guys didn't pick up on it, but these children from the Volume 6 Chapter 3 Lost Fables episode, these kids have silver eyes. They both have the tick marks as well. Now, here's the thing. And here's something that I didn't realize. This is something that I didn't realize. Like, I'm actually putting it together right now. Or something that I realized as I was going through these images, right? This woman and the host that Ozpin is controlling right now, neither of them have silver eyes. The man or the woman. But it's almost like an RNG that these kids were just born with silver eyes. Now, I don't know if it's because Ozpin is the host, like Ozpin is paired with this guy, and this guy, you know, and Ozpin has magic, you know, and maybe the magic influenced the outcome of the kid's genetics, you know, because eventually Ozpin and this person had to merge, and maybe after the merging, they had these kids. or it's a recessive trait far along this guy's bloodline or her bloodline. But yeah, obviously neither parent had it, but the kids can still have the silver eyes even if it's a recessive gene. No, not cheating. Come on, relax, guys. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, so these kids have the silver eyes. And for those who don't know, there is another silver-eyed warrior that we have not seen yet, but we have read up on them. And Rooster Teeth is working on, I think, an animated version of the Fairy Tales of Remnant book. I know that they're doing an animation, but I don't know if they're doing an animation of every chapter or if these are separate fairy tales from what the book offers. However, the first chapter of the Fairy Tales of Remnant book features the warrior in the woods. So this woman is a silver-eyed warrior featured in the book. And in the book, actually, I'll just get into like light spoilers. I don't want to spoil it outright, but at the end of the chapter, the warrior in the woods goes missing. There seems to be like a light struggle. There's no blood. There's no indication of a fight. So it might lend credence to the fact that Salem is actually going out and kidnapping silver-eyed warriors. And if we see this lady in the show, that's pretty much confirmed that this is the same lady from that fairy tale. So I think that's what Salem's doing. She's going out, she's kidnapping people, she's kidnapping silver-eyed warriors and turning them into these grim husk experiments with her symbiotic, parasitic, hound grim experiment thing that controls the host, has access to the host's intelligence, its manner of speech, and all that other stuff. Another thing too that I found interesting was when this guy comes through the, also he's a faunus too. So it's actually kind of cool that we're getting confirmation, right? Maria's father also had silver eyes too. So I don't think it was ever exclusive to just women, but I do think that, the fact that faunus are also in the running, if you will, like faunus can also have silver eyes, like silver eyes anyone can have silver eyes, like men, women, faunus, humans. The one thing that I will say, though, right, and this is petty as fuck, but I'm just going to say it to say it. This says the hound human. It should be the hound faunus. Just saying. Anyways. Yeah. Another thing, too, is that apparently this guy has fox ears. So the fox and the hound. Cool little reference there, if that is, in fact, a fox faunus. I want someone on the crew to at least confirm that, just so I don't have to be like, in case it is. That would just be a cool reference if it was. But we've also had fox faunus in the show. We've had Corsac and Fennec, and we also had some fox faunus in the crater of Mantle. So that's another one too. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of crazy shit, dude. This is huge. This is really huge because, like, I know a lot of people are upset about the hound, but I don't think this is the last time we're gonna see either a hound again or a different Grim that's just as formidable as the hound. But maybe the hound was just a taste test, right? Look how crazy people like went for the hound, myself included. I was losing my goddamn mind. I was like, what the hell? This changes everything. But to know that this one might be gone, but there's just another one to take its place. As long as there's silver eyes, there's a potential for there to be Grim like this. And that's exciting to me. I'm really excited to see. Oh, the fox in the hound. Oh, that's clever. That's really clever. Holy shit. But yeah, let's see. I'm gonna get to some of these super chats really quick because I have been neglecting them, so I do apologize. Do you think Arnold Nora will become the Winter Maiden? I don't actually. I thought so last volume when everyone and their mother thought that Nora's grandmother was the Winter Maiden. Off of some, off of arbitrary connections, but other than that, no, I don't think she's gonna be the Winter Maiden at all. If anything, I think Penny's gonna stay the Winter Maiden, or Cinder is gonna become the Winter Maiden. So yeah, let's see. I guess you can say that Salem's personal hound. Oh, personal hound. Okay, I gotcha, because it's a person underneath. Thank you, Patrick, for the super chat. I appreciate. Sorry that I'm like not on the uptake on jokes today. Unfortunately, that kind of went over my head initially, but thank you. I appreciate it. Salem, Volume 5. Never underestimate the usefulness of others. Yep. Why do any of the work when you can just use other people forcefully. And I just remembered something. I just remembered something. So, actually, we're going to get into it. It's the next scene, and this is crucial to the conversation we're having right now about this guy in particular. This, the silver-eyed faunus. The silver-eyed faunus is what I'm saying. So, obviously, this is fucking traumatic. This is like, I thought Grimm were just Grimm. Now we have to worry about killing people? You know? So, like, that's probably, like RWBY's probably like, what the fuck am I looking at? Everything I ever knew was a lie. I actually might have to start killing some people now, against my will, against their will, it seems. And here's the interesting thing. When she first blasts this Grimm, it first says, take the girl. And it says it very clearly as if this person still has agency. Like, this person is still there. But then the more he says it, the more animalistic he gets, the more it sounds like the hound is taking over again, right? You have this small window of like, holy shit, I'm still here, I'm still present. But the more he's starting to repair himself, the more the hound's taking back over. And then by the final strike, the hound is back. So I feel like, again, the host is still there, but their silver eyes might be keeping them from killing them all outright, or maybe based on whatever Salem's experiments were, she found a way to utilize as much as the person without killing them, you know? Did they realize he had silver? Well, here's the thing. I don't really think in this moment RWBY's gonna be like, holy shit, you have silver eyes just like I do. I just think for the viewer, I think that was just for us. RWBY's just, look at RWBY's face. Like, the last thing she's like, what? This is fucking ridiculous. Like, what is this thing? You know, she's like mortified. So, yeah, he still has consciousness. Like, I just don't know how much, because he's just stuck in this, take the girl, take the girl, take the girl, take the girl, take the girl. Like, he's not calling out for help. He's not pleading with them. He's not saying, like, hey, help me, save me. Salem did this to me, all that. So, like, I just feel like maybe he's already gone in that way. Like, he's still conscious. He's still, like, he's still there, but he's not there anymore, you know? Yeah, he's like a zombie right now. So, so yeah, we get into it. And, you know, this is the final moment that happens here. And, you know, RWBY realizes, also shout out to Whitley and Mama Schnee. You know, that's a great bonding experience, killing this never before seen Grimm. You know, it's a great way of, you know, that's something to talk about at the Christmas dinner with the family when they come to visit. You know, it's like, oh, remember that one time, Mom, me and you know, we teamed up, we helped save the world, we helped save Atlas, you know? And, you know, RWBY's like, that was a person. You know, that kind of changes things, because it's like, are we killing people? Are we just killing, you know, dark forces? Or now do we have to be a little bit more cautious of, like, we're trying to figure out how to save Mantle. We're trying to figure out how to save Atlas. We're trying to figure out how to save everybody. But now, are we going to try to find a way to how to save these people from these Grimm, you know, from this Grimm influence that's taking them over, you know? But, yeah, this is also indicative of the fact that, like, the Grimm is gone, but the human remains, you know? So, ultimately, yeah, like, it's one and the same. You have to make that call. You have to be like, yeah, we got to kill the Grimm. The Grimm evaporates, but the person is now dead. And so, yeah. The human remains. Okay, that wasn't a pun, by the way. But yeah, so, for those who don't know, Alex Abraham is one of the composers for the RWBY soundtracks alongside, you know, he works alongside Jeff on the soundtracks every year since they've come out. He also did work for, I believe, Red vs. Blue soundtrack. And if you listen closely, there are some, like, vocal chanting that go on during this ending scene here as the hound is dying off and all that. And it is translatable, and it has been translated by Alex himself, and it kind of gives you an idea of, like, what you can infer happened to this guy, or you can basically, instead of getting into, like, a whole backstory, we can just understand, like, how this guy got into this situation and just go from there. So, This was a conversation that Alex had with Milo Zimmerman Bent or Milo Zimben Music on Twitter. So they said, Voxus is amazing, and I'm happy you introduced it to me. Alex says, you want to take a stab at the implied lyrical meaning. Part of it actually I can't remember but I think Sivo, Issa shouldn't be too hard. Obviously, that's Silver Eyes. So the raw/literal translation is silver-eyed warrior. Salem took me. Don't fret for me. Don't cry. Your silver eyes see me. So that's just a raw translation. So I guess the interpretation of that is basically implying that this guy was captured, kidnapped by Salem, was turned into this grim hybrid experiment, and went out and did her bidding. And now, in its final moments, you know, the veil's pulled back. You actually see him as he's going down the stairs. I guess for RWBY, you know, because this is traumatic, but at the end of the day, don't be sad for this guy because you ended up saving him from this living torture that he's been going through for however long that he's been the Hound. And so I think that's the best we're ever going to get from that. Also, he's a faunus too. So I can only imagine the life that this guy had to live, only to kind of like lived in prejudice and you know, discrimination, and subjugated to hate from people in the world. And then, you know, it's like, oh, I have silver eyes. Well, I guess I'm going to be dealt a shit hand too by Salem. And then I just die, you know? So overall, I think we can imply a lot of things about this guy, but obviously the fact that Salem goes to these lengths is ridiculous. So, yeah, so I think at the end of the day, like, if anything, he's probably relieved that RWBY freed him from this way of life that Salem put him in. And again, I think it just goes to show how ruthless and how, like, heartless Salem is. You know, people are like, oh, misunderstood and all that other stuff. It's like, okay, well, now you're actually just trying to just be a bitch. You know, it's like, I don't know, like, the ends justify the means to her. Hey, I'm going to tell you guys really quick my theory on what's going to happen in RWBY. And I really hope I get to come back to this VOD years later, however long it takes since RWBY ends, to just confirm this. But I do think Salem is going to get all 4 relics. I do think the gods are going to come back. I do think the gods are going to destroy Remnant, and it's not going to affect Salem. I think, like, the true revelation of this show is going to come from the fact that Salem did everything right. She divided mankind. She waged war against, like, humans and faunus. And, you know, she turned everyone against Ozpin. She managed to get all of these relics. She managed to cause so much discourse amongst everyone in a way that in her head, she says, instead of me thinking about what the God of Light told me, right, until you understand the value of life and death, yeah, when you use people like this, when you use the fucking Hound Grim like this, chances are you don't understand the value of life or death and the fact that he just died. So I think the fact that she thinks, instead of doing that, I'm going to do the ultimatum. I'm going to get all these relics, and then I'm lumping everybody else with my inevitable fate that they're also going to kill me too and let bygones be bygones. And I think it's going to work. I think everyone else is going to die. Everyone else is going to go to the afterlife, which I'm not even mentally prepared for that because we know the afterlife exists. So we might actually see characters again who have passed, like Pyrrha, for example. Oh my fucking god. I just thought of that. Like, what if they fucking kill everybody? And then John gets to see Pyrrha again for a moment, and Neo gets to see Torchwick again for a moment? Holy shit. Because the afterlife is real. It's already been confirmed. That's where Ozma was. Holy fuck. We might get one last, and then once Salem decides, you know what I mean? And then it'll just be Salem and the God of Light and God of Darkness, and they're gonna be like, is this what you wanted? Now you're truly forever, for all time, because everything and everyone in this planet and this universe or whatever, this line of existence is gone, and you're the only one that's left. And then that's when I think Salem's just gonna have a little moment and admit she's wrong and just see the error of her ways. And it might take like an episode or two of self-realization, of like true introspection on her part. And like she understands, and everyone who died comes back. Not the people that have been dead. I'm saying the people that the gods like destroyed. All of that comes back, and then Salem dies, and Ozpin dies. I think that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, No. I'm happy to say that if everyone dies, then no one's dead. If everyone's dead, then no one's dead, because dead's a state of being. But if there's an afterlife, then yo, we're living again, you know? I think that has the potential to happen. Because imagine going through all of this stuff as Salem. Imagine going through all of this shit and you don't reach your goal. Imagine the whole Salem's whole ploy is to get the 4 relics, summon the gods, wipe everybody out, and it just doesn't happen. Like she gets 3 out of 4 relics, but you know, she narrowly missed it, but they found a way to defeat her. And well, I guess that sucks for Salem. I guess the heroes stay winning, you know? I just don't think that's fulfilling. I think it would be cool to just try to fight the good fight, but at the end of the day, she still wins. But even though she wins, she still loses. And then you get into the whole moral of the story, like, just like have her just actually like admit that she's being petty and that, like, I don't know, like, I just think that, I really think that that's gonna happen. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I think, like, Endgame, I don't know the true resolution, like, beyond that. Like, I don't know what it's gonna take for them to get to that point, but I do think that at the end of the day, like, Salem is gonna get the 4 relics. She is gonna summon the gods. A catastrophe is gonna take place. Salem's not gonna be affected by it. And eventually she'll remember what the God of Light told her and really, you know, because that's going to break her. That's going to fucking destroy. Like, she's putting on a really good front right now because she really thinks that this is it. Like, this is it. This is going to work. Imagine her ultimate plan not working and not having a second shot and just thinking to herself, this is life for all time. Never, like, forever. You know, I really think that's, I really think that's where we're going. And I'm saying this right now on February 12th, 2021 at 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 8 live stream discussion for future prosperity in case anything happens. Because however long it's going to be, maybe another 6, 7, 8 years down the road, I can come back to this video and be like, pick up the fucking phone because your boy called it. All right. And anyone who's here in chat, I want you guys to just be like, I was here. And then when this actually comes true, I want you to frame that one line that you said I was here and put it up on your fridge and be like, I was there the day Murder of Birds called the ending of RWBY before it happened. Woo! Clip it and ship it. Yeah, I really think that's gonna, yo, and even better than that, if that does happen, all of you guys will be a part of history. You guys can actually say, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be like, I don't know, it should be like a national holiday at that point. It should be like, do you remember where you were when Murder of Birds called the ending of RWBY years before it happened? I remember where I was. I was right there in the live chat typing I was here because I was actually there. You can go to the video. See, there's me right there in the live chat replay. Oh, man. Hey. Or on the flip side, we're going to come back to this video years later and I'm completely fucking wrong, dude. I'm going to come back to this video. I'm going to be like, I'm going to make the video. Here's the thing. I'm making the video either way. Either it's going to be RWBY fan predicts the ending of the show 10 years before it happens, or RWBY fan couldn't be further from the mark of how the show actually ends. Actual trash. Please unsubscribe from this person. And either way, it's gonna be, you're gonna be here for it either way. So, that's gonna be great, dude. I'm looking forward to that day. I'll tell you that much. I'm looking forward to it. Oh man, yeah, that's the full title quoted, by the way. It's gonna be like, it's gonna go off of the screen, like you won't even be able to read the whole thing. I don't even know if, yes, yeah, Eddie's sweating right now. Krewby's like, how the fuck do we have a leak? Do we have a mole among us? Like, one of us is the imposter. Who is it? Who told him? Yeah, oh man. I'm either going to be incredibly impressed with myself or embarrassed. Yeah, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It's cemented. It's on the internet now, which means I can never live it down. But if this is actually the case and this becomes true, I'm never gonna let you guys hear the end of it. Like, ever. Like, this is gonna become my legacy. All right, you know what? I'm gonna stop talking now, because now I feel like the more I talk, if it's wrong, the worse this is gonna look for me. So, your theory is great, but I think Salem might use the crown of choice. I'm being vague right now because I don't want to tell people what the crown of choice does, because it's in the fairy tale book. So if you guys want to know what the crown of choice is, pick up the book, pick up the audiobook, because you get to hear Ozpin's sweet serenading voice read some pages for you. If your take is not canon, I'll be more disappointed. Aw, man. Alright, guys, I just want to let you all know that I am not on the RWBY. Alright, I don't work on the show. Okay, you know, give them the credit they deserve. Don't be like, Arnold, I want your fandom headcanon to be confirmed. Alright, we got the clip-on tie, alright? We gotta take what we can get, okay? You can't be going out there getting all of these accolades and, you know, getting everything you want. Sometimes you got to be happy with what you have. You basically are at this point. I mean, come on, dude. Don't lie to my face. But yeah, long story short, the Hound is a fascinating addition to the show. I really hope we get to see more Hound Grim. Not even Hound Grim. I hate calling it Hound, because it's like, I want to know what it's called itself. Like, is that one in the form of a dog? Is there another one? Like, are we going through the Chinese zodiac? Is there one in the shape of a pig, and the shape of a horse, and the shape of a dragon? Like, I don't know what we're doing here. But like, the Hound, obviously the dog. But yeah, like, why did it take why a Hound? If there are other Grim out there, why this one a Hound? And what's the other one? What's the next one gonna be? Because I'm expecting at least one more. There's a lot of Silver Eyes out there that we probably don't even know about, but the Ruby's not the one and only. This guy's not the one and only, right? Maria, I mean, I think you need your eyes. I mean, Maria technically still has her eyes, but I guess she doesn't. Yeah, I don't think she can use them anymore. Never mind. I take that back. She probably replaced the eyes themselves with the goggles anyway. So I don't think it's enough to be a silver-eyed warrior. I think you still need to have the silver eyes as well. So yeah. Yeah. I think we're gonna get a Salem. I'm sorry, a Summer Hound, or whatever it's gonna call. I'll just call it a Hound for now. So I think we'll get a Summer Hound Grim. I'm expecting at least 2 more. And Summer. So I'm expecting, I don't know though, because if this guy was recent, Summer must have been before him, right? Because Summer was what, 16 years ago, like right after RWBY was born. So I would say Summer was at least like 12, 13 years ago, right? Because the show started when RWBY was 15. But Summer left when RWBY was barely able to talk. So that's around like 2 years old, I think. Around 2-ish. So I would say this Summer went missing like 12, 13, like 13 years ago at least, by like at current at the current pace, because about 2 years in the show has passed since episode 1. So if she's captured, she's very much alive. You also have to ask yourself, is the Wyvern one of those Grimm? Right? Because Cinder was talking to the Wyvern in Volume 3. She was like, this is your home now. But it wasn't like talking, like speech. Also, I don't think it's a human, because it was at a fucking mountain. It was at Mountain Glen. It was trapped in the mountain for like ages, most likely. I don't think like she was like, oh, Silver Eye, get into the freaking mountain. We'll save you for a rainy day when enough destruction and mayhem is caused. So I don't know. Yeah, Kevin. I'm not calling him Kevin. I'm going to call him the Wyvern. But yeah, I don't know. Some people think that like these high tier Grimm might actually be, but like no, because like I think the Nuckelavie's on that level. I think the C Feilong is on that level, but no, I think the Hound is I think the Hound is very different from the C Feilong, the Nuckelavie, the Wyvern. I think those are just Grimm. This is something different. Amity Arena said Wyverns were a commonplace in the past. Okay. So that was probably a Grimm that existed before, like during the original age of like during the first generation of humans. Imagine? That's like a Grimm that like the god of darkness himself concocted, most likely. Imagine that. Interesting. But yeah, so we got Watts. He's back in the picture. I saw Cinder put Watts over his shoulder, and I was like, someone ships these two now based on that alone. Not throwing shade, I'm just saying that's kind of funny, but like, yeah. I think some people already shipped these two, or like just created the ship as a ship for the sake of it. Pretty sure Calaxon's probably made a theory on these two in particular. But yeah, she busted out Watts like Cinder ordered, and now Cinder needs a favor from him. And I think because she knows that Watts hacked Penny based on what, you know, Cinder meant, based on what Salem said during like the meeting that they all had, you know, before she like got like zapped for not listening to Salem. I think she's gonna ask Watts to help her. I think she's going to ask Watts to help her track Penny and get the power way quicker. Which is going to suck because that means Cinder is now going to track down RWBY and all of them after they just had that encounter with the Hound, after they just had that encounter with the Centaurs and the Sentinels and all that. Like, they're not going to be able to catch a break if that's exactly what they're going with. Also, I fucking hated this scene with every fiber of my being. I'm like, why the fuck are these guards so goddamn stupid? The other two guys with the guns just stand there, and this guy shoots his missile. This guy, okay, hold on. Hold on. All right, so this guy shoots the missile. Look when he shoots the missile. God damn it. I was supposed to, hold on. Third time's the charm. All right. Look when this guy, look at this. I'm gonna fire after she's already behind me. And this is probably danger close, and they're probably all dead. He tried his best. What about the other two guys? They're just standing there. Look at Watts. Look at Watts. Watts is like, yo, I'm just here. My Uber's here. Damn it. Hold on. It's so hard to just... Look at Watts. He's like, oh, don't mind me. My ride's here. But yeah. And then Cinder's like, these idiots. I'm out of here. Yeah, when I watched the episode, I was like, just let them leave. Like, y'all ain't doing shit. Like, why are you guys even trying? A spark of genius. He was in the process of firing Arnold. Yeah, well, what about the other two guys with their guns just standing there doing nothing? Riddle me that one. And yeah, we got some really good concept art. Willow's vanity, as you guys have informed me on. Is featured on that top left one, the bottom right one, in the like the generator in the back of the estate. We have some ladybug moment right there. I like that. The hound faunus. Again, he's a faunus. He's a hound faunus. And then destruction. So, it's crazy to think that Jacques, Crow, and Robin are under that rubble somewhere. And I wonder what Crow's going to do, because if Crow turns into a bird, he can just go and fly up to, like, Ironwood's office and just challenge him to a death match. Because he's out here like, we're going to kill the man who put us here. And it's like, do you think that's productive, Crow? What the fuck? You know, it's all over the place. Anyways, if you guys are still here, I appreciate the support. We're going to get into the weekly poll, and we're going to check out the thumbnail, the title, and the runtime of the episode. If you do not want to see that, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you guys so much. I really hope you enjoyed the discussion. It's great to be back. We're going to be doing these every Thursday. Obviously, today's Friday, so I kind of messed up on the schedule there. But if you guys do want to see the poll for this week, if you guys do want to hang out and check out the thumbnail for next week's episode and all that other stuff, for tomorrow's episode, which is episode 9, or chapter 9, rather, I'm going to be showcasing that right now. If you do not want to see spoilers, I appreciate it, but get the hell out of here. I don't want you here anymore. All right, I don't want you here to be spoiled. That's not what I'm about, okay? But I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you guys all who tuned in for the majority of the stream. Thank you guys all for the donations, for the super chats, for the subscriptions, for people who became channel members. It's all greatly appreciated. I'm also going to take slow chat off, so don't say I never did anything for you guys. All right. All right, so we're going to do this. All right, so step 1. Slow chat's off, freedom. Enjoy it. Don't forget how merciful I am, okay? All right, so I got the thumbnail. And I guess I'll just read off the description from this page because it's on someone posted it in my Discord. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to see the thumbnail, and then we're going to get into the weekly poll, which is kind of relevant to current events going on. So if you do not want to see last call, please leave if you do not want to be spoiled, because I'm not going to be responsible for you being like, Arnold, why are you posting spoilers? That's not cool, man. All right, in 3, 2, 1. This is the thumbnail for tomorrow's episode. The episode is called RWBY Volume 8, Chapter 9, Witch. W-I-T-C-H. So, witch as in Salem, the Wicked Witch. And I mean, that's what she was called too in the fable. Like, when she lived in the woods, she was known as the Witch. The description is, the clock is oh, fuck. The clock is ticking on Jean, Ren, and Yang's rescue mission. The Aesops hold the line against Salem's forces. Duration, 18 minutes, 29 seconds. And that is tomorrow's chapter. Yeah, so it seems like we're going to get the other perspective, since obviously last week's episode was focused on the Schnee Manor for the most part. But yeah, we are focused. We're getting the whale. We're getting Hazel. We're getting Hazel. We're getting Emerald. Yang's gonna be back in the whale. If Neo's there, we can probably get a Yang and Neo rematch. That'd be fucking baller. But yeah, we're probably gonna see Oscar in that one scene. There's that one scene in the trailer where it looks like Salem's trying to like gouge Oscar's eyes out. So we might see Oscar and Salem confront each other again, or Oscar and Ozpin talk to each other again. And then obviously they're going into the whale for the rescue mission before the Aesops and company deliver the bomb. So yeah, a lot of crazy shit that's going to happen. Like I said, 18 minutes, 29 seconds. That's tomorrow's chapter. So, and then obviously my reaction to Chapter 8 will be posted on YouTube tomorrow at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, as per usual. So for those of you who haven't checked it out already on Patreon, you guys will be able to do that tomorrow. I'll obviously be in the live chat as I typically am. And yeah, tomorrow, episode 101 takes place. Holy shit. But yeah, this was a really great discussion. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And before we head out, I am going to go through the weekly poll. Or rather, we're going to go through the poll of the mid-season finale poll. So the poll that we did a couple months ago, we're just going to see the results of that in case anyone is interested. And then we're going to get into this current poll, which will be posted on YouTube and Twitter immediately. All right, and then we'll close out and all that stuff. This might come off as a little recent, obviously, because of the fact that because of the fact that, you know, I backpedaled off, I'm not backpedaled, I backpacked off of the current events, but I'm just curious of how everyone feels about it. Anyways, for those who don't remember, last week's poll, or the last poll that we did was based on if you were to be in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which of the 4 elements would you want to bend? Water, earth, fire, or air? And surprisingly, most people chose water, which means most of them probably want to, or most of them probably want to bloodbend and control people's will. But yeah, you know, I don't know. It's that old adage that Bruce Lee mentions, you know, be water. You put water in a bowl, it becomes a bowl. You put water in the cup, it becomes the cup. It's versatile. It's you know, water. It's like water's in everything. Water's in us. It's in trees. It's in grass. It's in, you know, it's what we all need to survive. So if anything, it's probably the most versatile of, or the most common of everything. Earth maybe, but that depends on where you are. But yeah. Yeah, most people picked what? So 1,979 on Twitter, but on YouTube, I believe the outcome was way bigger. 13,000 people voted, and again, an overwhelming majority was water as well. Actually, let me see, is the turnout similar? So it was water, fire, earth, air. Water, fire, yeah, turnout on both sides. Water, fire, earth, air. Damn. Toph would be very disappointed. Let me just say that. Anyways, this week's poll is based off of the current debacle that's currently going on at Rooster Teeth. And I just wanted to know how people felt about it. I know some people have weighed in their opinion, some people haven't. But I'm going to ask this question, and this is going to make or break some relationships here on youtube.com/murderofbirds that we're going through right now in the live chat. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Eric Baudor brought forth a very thought-provoking conversation starter. And that is, if you cook 2 servings of lasagna, and then you take one lasagna and you put it on top of the other lasagna, how many lasagnas do you have? And, well, let's just say it's a very divisive topic, because people are saying it's 1 lasagna, and people are saying it's 2 lasagna. And it's gotten so bad that Rooster Teeth actually made merch of it as well. So it blew up to a point where it's reflecting in that regard as well. So I'm going to post this on both YouTube, the YouTube community tab, but also on Twitter, with lasagna with a 1 and lasagna with a 2. And if you think it's 1, pick the top one. If you think it's 2, pick the bottom one. It's very simple, short, sweet, and to the point. And yeah, we'll see how many people are wrong next week. Yeah, I think we're gonna do it. We're gonna see how many people are wrong next week. You don't have to answer. I mean, if you don't answer, I mean, I guess you don't have to answer, but I don't know. Arnold, oh my god, no need to get controversial. I know, right? I want lasagna now. God damn it. But yeah, I just thought that was really funny, and I was contemplating what I wanted to do for this week's poll, because I actually have to, like, think critically on it, and I was like, this is kind of cheap, this is kind of, like, lazy, but whatever. And at least on YouTube, unless you're on Twitter, you don't know about it, so at least on the YouTube side, when we get a bigger ratio of how the turnout is, like, usually we get, like, 10,000 votes on YouTube, which is even bigger than the poll that Rooster Teeth did. So, so yeah, hopefully a lot of people will be very vocal on their opinions, and hopefully they can keep it civil in the comments or in the tweet threads or what have you. But yeah, thank you guys very much for hanging out with me. We've been live for 3.5 hours. It's 9 p.m. That's a great time to wrap things up. I'm gonna have me some dinner. I gotta do my Genshin Impact dailies. Tomorrow is chapter 9, so I got to focus on working on that tomorrow as well. But thank you guys all so very much for the support. Thank you guys very much for the conversations, for being awesome in chat, for hanging out with me, for, you know, being excited to be back, for first off coming back after the almost 2 month break of the hiatus, I'm really grateful and thankful that you guys are still looking forward to the conversations that we have, the topics we bring up, the theories and speculations. All of you guys were here for my groundbreaking RWBY endgame theory crafting that hopefully we get to all revel in the years to come following RWBY's end. But yeah, I really do appreciate it. Let's see. Why didn't you react to Attack on Titan? Because I haven't seen season 3. The last time I watched Attack on Titan was season 2. So I'm just not up to date on anime, like in general. Anime, I haven't watched anime in years. But anyways, thank you guys all so much. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you guys next Thursday for the following discussion. My reaction, as usual, will be posted on YouTube tomorrow. So I hope you guys will check that out. I hope you guys enjoy it. But that's going to do it for me. I'm going to head out. I'm going to get some dinner. So I expect you guys to all do the same. Thank you guys very much for the support. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your weekend. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.